You're doomed. You're all doomed. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Franchise Deep Dive with Jake and Josh, the podcast where we break down, dissect, and discuss all of your favorite and least favorite movie franchises. I'm Jake.
And I'm Josh. I thought you were going to do It's Got a Death Curse from Ralph.
Shit, that one's better. It's got a death curse. Question off the bat: which Doom guy do you like more, Ralph or the guy from 3?
I think Ralph, just because by 3 I was just tired of it. I was like, I don't want this character.
Well, not to spoil things, Josh, but there will be one of those characters in the next 7 of these movies.
Yeah, but yeah, Ralph, because he just made me laugh more.
Well, I like the guy in the 3rd one. First off, Ralph is just fucking unhinged. He's just like, first off, why is he hanging out in that closet? Like, he's just in the closet.
I got a note that he just like sneaks in the pantry and just waits.
Oh yeah,
he just waits.
He's just in the pantry. They open the door and he's like, "Boogity boogity boo."
And he just walks away. He just leaves.
Well, I like the guy in 3 because he's just like fucking drunk, passed out in the middle of a dirt road, and they like help him up. And you can clearly hear Shelly in the background go, "Don't touch him. We don't know where he's been." And then the guy just like starts like just like dangling a fucking loose eyeball in front.
Oh man, I tried to write down every 3D moment.
Oh God, yeah. Can't wait to talk about that. Anyway, we're off to a great start. Anyway, guys, if you didn't look at the title of the episode before clicking on it, we are, of course, talking about Friday the 13th. Yes, we are breaking into the longest franchise that we have ventured into thus far. We did 8 Harry Potter movies. I think that's the most we've done so far. That was a 3-part series. The way that we kind of decided to break Friday the 13th up is we're going to do a 4-part series. That means you guys get 2 whole months of sucking, fucking, drinking, smoking, and killing, baby. Anyway, we're breaking this up into a 4-part series. We're going to be doing Friday the 13th 1 through 3 in this episode. In the next episode, we're going to tackle what I consider the Tommy Jarvis trilogy, which is 4, 5, and 6. In the following one, part 3, we're going to be doing 7, 8, and 9, and then we are going to close out the franchise deep dive with the 4th part, which is going to be Jason X and the 2009 Friday the 13th remake, which I think was produced by Michael Bay, or maybe I'm confusing that with Texas Chainsaw, or maybe he did both. Not exactly
I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you.
I know he did the Texas Chainsaw movie for sure, but do you ever see that one? The one with Jessica Biel?
Yes.
Not good. Well,
you know what? It might be better than a lot of these.
Well, cat shit, dog shit, as we've said before. But either way, guys, let's break right into it. We do have 3 movies to discuss. But before we fully break into them, I did want to ask, as I actually think this is going to be one of the more interesting ones, as we like to do when we're kicking off a new franchise. We'd like to talk about our relationship or our experience with the franchise that we are discussing. So I just wanted to ask you, Josh, to kick things off, like what your experience with Friday the 13th is. I think we've briefly mentioned these movies on the podcast before, and I know we both have like a history with them. So
yeah,
just curious.
So warning to everybody, spoilers ahead in case you haven't seen any of these, especially the first one. But let me start with history here, because I'm curious to hear if you watched the first one without knowing what happens. But because I watched Scream way before I watched any Friday the 13th movie.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I saw Scream probably when I was like 5 or 6 years old, I think.
That's psychotic, but okay.
Yeah. I was allowed to watch like horror movies sometimes. I think that one I watched with cousins, so like parents weren't around.
It's always cousins. They're always the ones to show you the fucked up stuff. All right.
But yeah, so I watched that. I didn't catch on to it, honestly, but I've seen Scream so many times, and I don't even think I've seen the first Friday the 13th fully until I was like a teenager. Like I've seen Jason movies more, like where I thought he was always the killer.
Yeah.
So to be honest, I can't even remember my first time watching this. It was like in high school when I was getting into horror movies a lot, and I don't know. I can't remember if I liked it. I think I did what a lot of people do and just elevate this movie just because it has like a very rich like stance in the genre. Like I get it. But I think I can't remember it. I can't remember my early experiences with this movie. But I remember preferring watching like a good amount of the sequels. This time around, I'll talk more about if it's different or not. I don't want to lend my hand too much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Well, listen. I have an interesting relationship with Friday the 13th. I have a fun little story. I'll try to kind of get through it quickly so we can get to discussing these movies. Again, we do have 3 to discuss, but I kind of owe my love for horror and me being such a horror fan primarily to Friday the 13th. You know, there's 3 movies / franchises that are kind of why I love horror. And it started with Friday the 13th because as a kid, hated horror films, just was not my cup of tea. I was a scared little bitch most of the time. My mom would kind of mess with me sometimes. I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before. If I was like acting up, she knew that the Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy jingle, she knew that would get to me and get me to shut up. So she would start singing the 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you thing because she knew it spooked me. But yeah, always hated horror films. And then around 12 or 13, we had Netflix at the time, and they put all 10 Friday the 13th movies on Netflix. And I was just at that age where I really wanted to venture into horror. You know, you start getting a little bit more edgy, you want to experience more adult things. And so started watching Friday the 13th, and just like as a 12 or 13-year-old, it's just everything you want out of horror. It is blood, it's kills, it's tits, it's all of those things. So just kind of fell in love watching these movies. My opinion, you know, again, not to lend my hand too much, I don't quite think that these are the high art films that I did when I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, these...
Which I remember thinking. I remember just thinking that.
I mean, yeah, kids don't know what good fucking movies are. So, like, again, when you're 12 or 13, it's like, it's boobs,
well,
but
see, mine was in high school, so I was, like, approaching 18.
Yeah, I have an excuse. You don't.
Yeah. I think I think it was just like I heard it so much. I heard so much about this series. So it kind of just like almost it like tricked me into just thinking, yeah, this is what it is. But then I wised up a little bit. Like once I hit 18 to 20, I was like, yeah, no, these are not that good. Yeah. I don't know why these are sometimes in the top 10 best horror movies of all time. I don't understand that.
Okay, well, I don't know what list you're looking at. I have never once seen any Friday the 13th on a top 10 horror film.
Actually, the one you sent me, one of them was at 12. One of them was at 12.
That was a specific top 30 slasher list. That wasn't a top 10 horror movie list.
Even slashers, when I see it like in top 10, like it's just shocking to me.
And that's something I do want to get into, like the whole debate of like, again, like what is a slasher, and then also just what classifies as a good slasher, which I'm excited to break into. But I loved Friday the 13th as a kid. I loved the Jason mask. It was just super iconic. I didn't find them scary even at 12 or 13. But even before watching the movies as a kid, like, you know, you're just aware of the hockey mask. You're aware of Jason in the way that you are aware of Chucky or Freddy Krueger, even if you haven't seen those films. But yeah, no, watched Friday the 13th, and then went to 48 Hours Video, a local video rental store, saw Halloween on there, and then obviously being aware of Michael Myers, wanted to check that out. And that's when if Friday the 13th is what got me into horror, Halloween was what made me fall in love with it. And then watching Scream, which, again, like you mentioned, kind of touches on a lot of horror elements and even brings up Friday the 13th. But yeah, so, Friday the 13th got me into horror, and I'll always be appreciative of it, for that reason alone. But the one story I wanted to bring up was I was really big into Friday the 13th, like I said, around 12 or 13. My little cousin, who was like 2 years younger than me, he, shout out Matt if you are listening. I don't think he listens, but if you end up listening to this episode, shout out. We were in Disney World at the time, and 12, 13 didn't have a smartphone at the time, but my mom did. And me and my cousin, just the entire trip, instead of enjoying Disney like kids normally should, I was obsessed with Friday the 13th. He was obsessed with Halloween. And we were just going back and forth being like, yeah, but dude, in this one, this is how Jason kills this person. And then he would be like, oh yeah, but in this Halloween movie, Michael Myers kills this guy this way. And just going back and forth.
I would have smacked you. I would have smacked you both if I was your mom.
And to the point, like, it annoyed my mom because, like, I asked her, I was like, Mom, can I have your phone? And she's like, why? And I was like, I want to show Matt, like, a YouTube compilation of all of Jason's kills. And she's like, fuck, no, you're in Disney. What the fuck? So that's my my fun little story with that. But, yeah, shall we break into these movies, or?
Yep, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Like we like to do, we'll set the stage for the movies, starting off with Friday the 13th, 1980, directed by Sean S. Cunningham. I don't know how I fucked that one up. Budget of $550,000, super low budget. I did it adjusted for inflation. In 2025, that would be around $2.2 million. Box office, 59.8 mil. Adjusted for inflation would be $246 million in 2025. So to put that in like context, guys, if a movie in 2025 was made for 2.2 million and made almost $247 million, that's how this movie did in 1980, which is fucking insane. And a Rotten Tomatoes score of 67%, which I believe is the highest of the franchise, and pretty fucking good for a slasher.
Yeah,
not quite Halloween.
Yeah, pretty
good
fucking good. That is pretty fucking good. My
it's not
God,
great. It's not great, but
it's almost a 70%. That's a pretty juicy tomato. That's a pretty juicy tomato.
It is not almost 70 for a guy who holds every decimal important to him. It's a couple percent off. It's
I mean, listen, 1% gain. Each percent gain that Friday the 13th gets is like a fucking, like, you should be cherishing every single percent you get.
Well, I'm excited to discuss it with you. To discuss it with you because I know we have some differing opinions on it. But movie has a runtime of an hour and 35, and the plot goes as follows. A group of teenage camp counselors attempt to reopen an abandoned summer camp with a tragic past, but they are stalked by a mysterious, relentless killer.
Cool. So let's start with the opening scene.
I want to say, guys, I have always felt that Friday the 13th, the first one, is super interesting if you've never seen it and don't know anything about it. And before we fully spoil things and fully get into the discussion, I know Josh already said spoilers, but if you're like, oh, it's Friday the 13th, who cares? I know what's going to happen. Genuinely, go watch the first one first. The rest of them, whatever. But go watch the first one and then come back to this. I know people don't care about spoilers sometimes, but this is one that I think is really fun. If you know the context of the franchise, the first one is a pretty fun first-time watch. Either way. Let's get into it.
Cool.
Josh hates this movie.
No.
Josh hates Friday the 13th. Before we started recording, he said Kevin Bacon is a baby back bitch. His words, not mine.
I mean, must have been a dream you had. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, that let me ask you this. Do you like Kevin Bacon in this movie?
No.
No?
No, I like his kill. I like his kill.
Yeah.
I don't care. Whoever's listening to this,
I think he's
I'm
fine.
gonna,
I think he's okay.
really? I don't. I don't think any of them are.
He's not. He's no Betsy Palmer.
Even that.
No, she's fucking good.
No, she's all right. No, stop. See, this is what I don't
No.
like. Betsy is good. She is just good. She is not fucking good. That is crazy to say.
Is.
That's
she
ridiculous.
Is fucking
That's just
good.
ridiculous. No, I'm so tired of this. I'm so.
She is
you know
creepy.
What?
She is unsettling. She is giving a good performance, and I will die on that hill. She might be the only person giving a good performance. Actually,
Listen,
I'll give the
good.
actor for Ralph credit. I think the guy who plays Ralph, the Doom guy, my opening quote, I think he sells it pretty well.
He stinks.
Oh
Listen,
my god.
Betsy looks good. She looks better. She is good. I mean, I'm going to say she's not. She's good. Sure. She's not bad, but she looks way better because of the series that she's in. The competition she has around her. She just looks better. Like, you have to admit that. And
I genuinely, like, listen, there are a lot of flaws in the first Friday the 13th. I'm not going to pretend there's not. It is, and we'll get into a little bit of the backstory of the film too, which I think kind of lends to the film's quality, but I think there are some good elements. And I think when I'm looking at the elements that are actually good on paper, that are not just, oh, hey, that's fun, I think Betsy Palmer is giving a pretty solid performance. In the landscape of horror, is it like a top 10 performance? No. But I think it is very good. I think it's better than serviceable or above average, at least. I think it
she's memorable. She's memorable, and that's why
memorable.
she's good.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think there's a testament to being memorable in, but either way.
So the opening scene is not bad until it's, I don't know. It's, so they take a lot from Halloween in their opening scene. Like, that's pretty apparent.
Yeah.
I think. Now I wanted to say this because I was complaining to you about how I didn't like how a lot of these scenes looked. I didn't like how a lot of them were lit. This one actually looks is decent. I think it sets up a good mood within the cabin. A mood that I think sometimes gets lost later in the movie. I don't know. Sometimes the scenes like feel too bright. They feel too overblown. This one has like a little bit of like eeriness to it.
Well, it's shot at night, the cabin that they go up to is pretty dark.
No, what I'm saying, like the nighttime scenes later on in the movie, like it feels like they're lit up a lot more, and I didn't like it. Like like I'm saying, like I don't know. I'll talk more about it in the sequels because I think sometimes like I'll compare it a little bit more. But I'm saying like the opening scene feels like decent. I don't really care for how it like ends. Not too fan of the scream, the freeze frame on the scream. I just don't think I don't think it looks that good. I don't think it's like that good of a sell of a scream.
Right.
I don't know. I thought I was gonna get I kind of forgot like how the opening scene was, so I thought I was gonna get like a good kill to start off, and you don't.
So I wanted to kind of talk about that because it was something that I also like had a critique of because when you're talking about a Friday the 13th movie, the kills are, to me at least, one of the more important aspects of like rating these movies. And I was pretty disappointed with the opening kills. You get two of them. You get this guy and this girl, and they sneak off to the cabin. The guy is actually, I wish I would have wrote down the exact role, but I think he was like a production assistant or something, or he had some role on the movie. And I remember reading that like he has the honor of being the first ever kill in Friday the 13th. But either way, you get that couple. They sneak off to go have sex and obviously are killed. And I was like, man, those kills were they were kind of weak. And I know that Tom Savini, who is to me the greatest special effects artist in the history of horror films, knowing that he did this film, and I was like, man, that was a little disappointing. I feel like I remember those kills being better, but then I believe it was Tom Savini. I had watched a documentary on this entire franchise before recording this episode, and I think it was Tom Savini who said that you don't want to start out the film with great kills because then it softens the impact later in the movie. And it actually made me think back to I had just rewatched the original Suspiria the other day, and the first kill in that movie is so fucking amazing, but every kill after that is just kind of fine. Like it really kind of blows its load a little early, and so it kind of made me look at the opening kills in this with a little bit of different perspective, because it was like, oh yeah, if they had gone like too over the top, maybe the kills later on in the film that are a lot better and are a lot cooler, maybe they wouldn't hit as hard. I don't know.
But you don't even get a kill. That's what I'm saying. Do these even count as kills? It doesn't show anything. You just know that it's like kind of getting an off-screen kill.
The one is off screen, I think, but I think you get like a stomach stab. You just don't really see it go in. It's
in the first.
Yeah. Don't.
Oh, do you? I mean,
I thought you see one of them get stabbed, but it's
maybe,
like it's not.
Maybe.
You don't see like the knife go in really. But what I do think it does pretty well though, I think, it establishes, like you said, it establishes a pretty solid tone that maybe they don't quite match later on in the movie, but they establish that tone, and they also kind of introduce an interesting concept, which is that, oh, this is like a familiar face. This isn't some horrifying monster. This isn't some like inherently creepy looking person. When they see the person, it's just like a normal response. And that would go on throughout the rest of the film, where these characters have these normal responses to the POV killer. And it adds an interesting layer to the movie, I think. It's not like a lot of other slashers that I feel like we had seen before this, whether it be Halloween, where it's like, oh, it's who, it's Michael. Yeah. It's Michael Myers. He wears the mask. You see him.
I think an issue I have with I appreciate POV. It's clearly taken influence, which is fine. I love how Halloween does their POV, like a lot more. I love how Jaws does their POV. I like withholding seeing the killer. It's clearly like taking a lot of that from Jaws, but I think in this kind of movie, if you're not gonna make up, that's not enough to just like say, okay, this movie did this, let me do the same thing. You have to have some talent behind your direction, and I don't think that's really present the way it is in like John Carpenter's direction or Spielberg's. I think it's like, let me just not show the killer, and then all my work is done. Now, not that everything's awful every single time, but I'm not getting anything like the opening scene in Halloween. Like, you get that really interesting, like, through the eye hole. Like, that's just really well done. It adds a layer of creativity. This kind of just, it just does it. It just does it for the sake of like, this was effective, let me do it in mine. And it kind of like doesn't add its own, like, I don't know.
No, and like, I don't want to say that this is like the most creative way to use POV. I do think it does something like a little different than per se Halloween or Jaws, to where you do get some scenes where like let's take the first real kill of the movie, like excluding the two campers. You get I believe her name is Annie. She is she's trying to get to Camp Crystal Lake. She's going to be the cook for the camp. She's going to be cooking for all the kids and all the counselors and whatnot. And she's kind of hitchhiking her way to the camp. To which, you kind of get that stereotypical, I don't know how. No, it is very much Texas Chainsaw Massacre-esque, where like they arrive at the graveyard and everyone is like super ominous and it's very eerie and weird. You kind of get that when she arrives. It's like a diner or something. She goes in some store or whatnot, and the second she mentions that she's going to Camp Crystal Lake, everybody's kind of demeanor changes. They do it in American Werewolf in London as well. Like, it's not like, again, the most creative thing, but what I like about some of the POV shots is when she hitchhikes later on and she gets in the car with the inevitable killer. I like that you get shots where she's just in the car and there is a POV shot that it holds on her for like a decent amount of time. So I like some of those elements, which,
that's probably their better one, I will say.
Yeah.
Like, I do think it's a little interesting to like just keep it from the driver's seat on her, and you see like this gradual change in reaction when she like realizes, oh, you're not dropping me off. It's like, it's very normal because the killer is, like you said, such a normal like face. It's you wouldn't expect it. I like that but she's just so bad. It kind of like it ruins the effect of. Yeah, like she's so bad in that car scene. Like, it just, like, I wish, because it's like an effective shot if they're like pulling it off, but
I think the effectiveness of the camera work, though, I don't think it's per se ruined by a less than good performance. Sure, it doesn't add to it, but again, like you said, it is probably the most effective use of the POV in this movie. And I just think, again, like, I'm trying to give credit where credit is due. I don't love this movie. It's not my favorite horror film. It's not even my favorite movie in this franchise. I do think the pacing is a bit rough at times. We're not the first people to kind of highlight, there's a lot of padding the runtime in this movie.
Yeah. I don't want to I don't want to beat it too too much where it's like everyone's talked about how bad the acting is. We don't need to like harp on how bad we know it's bad.
And I think that's like not just of slashers, but I think a lot of some of the most popular horror films don't have great acting in them. Not every film is like The Exorcist or The Shining. I think there's some rather weak acting in Halloween, which to me is a 10 out of 10 movie. It's my favorite film of all time. So I don't want to listen. It is a criticism. The acting is not good in. I don't think any of the Friday the 13th movies. I will say there are some performances in some of the sequels that are 1,000 times worse than anything in this movie, which it is. I know probably it sounds a little over dramatic, but holy shit, there is some performances that are just like strikingly bad. Like I've seen better acting in porn, but back to Friday the 13th. Bringing it back to Annie, I like her kill. Her kill still stands out in my mind as being one of the better ones in this movie. It's 1980. When you look at a lot of kills prior to this. Prior to the first Friday the 13th movie, whether it's an Argento Giallo film, whether it's Halloween, there's not that, there is like a lot of blood in Giallo films, especially Argento movies, but they don't always look super realistic. They are a little bit more hyper stylized, whereas I think Tom Savini kind of goes for a more realistic style of violence in this movie. And starting with Annie, like you get a throat slit, and sure, it's a little quick, in terms of like how it's cut and how it's edited, and maybe that takes away from the effect of it being scary a little bit. But I think the effect looks pretty good. It's a pretty. I just wish it maybe held on the shot a little bit longer. Maybe you got a little bit more blood coming out of the neck. But in terms of like the first like legit kill you see in this movie, I think it's a pretty good one.
So I want to talk about that because I'm going to talk about it more as we go in the sequels. An issue I have that I don't remember in a lot of these kills. It doesn't hold on the kills a lot. Like, it really doesn't. It feels like as soon as the kill happens, it cuts, like, almost immediately. And it's like, it is a good effect. But it's so quick. I never, feel like that much effectiveness from the kill because it's so, brief. So, I don't know, man. It really takes me out of some of the kills. Like, even if I like the kills, it's like, but I need a little bit more, I don't know, I'm not saying you need to hold on it for 20 seconds, but how about more than 2? I don't know, because the throat slit, I like seeing the skin kind of stretch it, makes it little raw and more realistic, like you said.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it feels rushed. It just feels rushed, and with a movie like this, you kind of only have the kills, almost only. So it's like, if you're not going to give that to me, I need something from you. You're not giving me acting. Fine. I accept that. You're giving me decent atmosphere, sure. But I'm not getting much fun with these kills a lot of times. It just feels like it's like you said, the pacing is bad in this. It really, I don't remember it being feeling this long, but it felt long to get through.
I think once you get to Annie's kill, I think the movie gets a little bit better paced. I think the first 15-ish 20 minutes maybe, they're rough, and you get,
I don't know, man. There's the scenes just are pretty long. Alice, when she's making the coffee, it's such a long scene. And then
I think I
don't know.
wrote my notes for that one. That scene, I was like, man, this is really can we speed
it's
this
long.
up a little?
And these scenes don't need to be slow. This is kind of a fast paced movie.
Yeah,
it should be, at least. So I don't know. You're getting a lot of these drawn out scenes where nothing is happening. Yeah. And I'm not even really getting much tension either from it.
No. And I don't want to be super juvenile, at least not yet. We'll get to the juvenile stuff at some point. But when I'm watching Friday the 13th, like, and again, like, that's why, like, I'm trying to view this in the. Sometimes what I try to do with movies, especially older movies, is I'm like, I gotta try to put myself in the mind of a viewer in 1980. I know it's not possible, but I like to look at in the same way. It's like when you hear like, oh yeah, people didn't go in their swimming pool after watching Jaws, and like in 2025 you're like, yeah, they're fucking stupid. But maybe if you're seeing that movie in 1975 for the first time or whatever, I'm sure it has a different impact. When you hear stories about people in like the 1920s when that fucking train movie came out, and they like shrieked in fear and thought the train was coming through the screen, like, all right, you're stupid. But then again, I'm not from that time period, so I don't know. So like when I'm putting myself in the mind of a viewer from like 1980, or at least trying to understand that perspective, I like, I don't know, I think there is some moments of good tension building. I think there are some atmospheric moments. I like that there's like a storm in the movie, which there's kind of like a storm in every Friday the 13th movie. At some point there's like a storm, but I like in this movie, Kevin Bacon and that girl, they go off to have sex, and they're building tension there. And it's like after that guy Ned had already gone in there, and we haven't really heard from Ned, which bothered me because that's another like off-screen kill. But for some reason the off-screen kills in this one, they bother me less than they do in the sequels, because in the sequels it's more so like, all right, I know what I'm here for, whereas this is the first movie in the franchise. It is more of a murder mystery. I know that like 2 through every other Friday the 13th movie becomes more of just like a hack and slash, and I know that was kind of their intention with this one, but it still does kind of operate like a murder mystery because of that familiar face aspect of the POV killer, which I think it has like a fun reveal at the end and whatnot. But
and they have a couple like decently fun red herrings where you're like, just like you're trying to guess who it is. Like
yeah.
I thought the diner scene, like when I kept telling you this movie looks like shit, like the diner scene I just thought looked horrible. When
the issue is
at
like,
the end,
it's fine if you want to say that this movie looks like shit, but I don't want to hear that any other one looks good, because they all look equally as shit. And I think at the very, like, in terms of like cinematography and lighting and framing, there's not a single Friday the 13th movie that it is like well shot or does anything super unique with the camera.
But I do think I'm not big on how this movie's lit. So like if you can't shoot a movie well, at least light your scenes well. And I don't think these scenes are lit well. But like in part 3, even part 3, I think, is lit better than this movie.
I think part 3 fools people, and I noticed it this rewatch because it's the only Friday the 13th movie that is shot in the 2:3:5:1 aspect ratio, whereas I'm pretty sure every other Friday the 13th movie is shot in the 1:8:5:1 aspect ratio. So with part 3, you get the black bars on the top and bottom of the screen. You get a full screen image in all the other Friday the 13th. And I think it tricks the mind a little bit. It makes part 3 look a little bit more cinematic. Whereas I think if you had the same aspect ratio for 3 that you did for all the other ones, I think it would look equally as shitty. Those scenes are still super flatly lit. There's not a lot of like interesting lighting. They all look like shit. And those have higher budgets than the first one. So
I don't know, because like I really don't think I was fooled by thinking it had better cinematography. I was just like I have a note that in the third one, I wish the cabin scenes in the first one looked like this, where it's like you get like a very nice orange glow from the fire. You get like shadows. You don't get any shadows in this movie.
I like when there's no lights on and it's dark during the storm when Kevin Bacon and that girl go off to have sex. I think that scene looks kind of nice.
But like even Kevin Bacon's death, which is it's like the noteworthy one.
Okay, we got to talk about that for a second, right? The fucking Do you want to explain it for the people who are listening? Or?
Yeah. So Kevin Bacon. It's after they have sex, right?
Yeah, they have sex. She goes off to use the bathroom, and he's sitting there. I think he's smoking a cigarette at first, or something.
Yeah, and he just gets like, you just get like, did you jump? Do you remember jumping?
I've seen this movie like 30
No,
times.
like when you watch it, was this like a jump moment for you?
For the first time?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So he gets like this hand like around his head. You get this like reaction from him, and then he just gets this arrow. Right, it's an arrow, I think.
Yeah.
Just right through his throat.
Right through
And
the fucking jugular. Oh.
yeah. And I
Did
think they
you
hold
ever-
on that like a better amount of time.
Well,
I
that's
think.
what I didn't want to jump ahead too much, but when you were talking about them not holding on kills, I immediately went to the Kevin Bacon one because I was like, I feel like they do hold on that one pretty
Yeah.
well, but I love it, dude. You get the fucking arm, comes out under the bed, grabs him, instantly just gets the fucking just right through the neck, and then you get that blood spurt. And I don't know if you ever looked up how they got that blood spurt effect, but so it wasn't supposed to initially be that gory, but they had basically a tube that was like connected into the prosthetic neck for Kevin Bacon, and I think it got stuck from what I remember, and so they blew really hard into it during the scene while they were filming, and that's why like it kind of just like shoots out after the arrow goes through, and you get that like spurting effect. It's one of the most iconic kills in the history of horror. I don't think that's a crazy sentiment, but it's at least one of the most well-known ones in this franchise for sure.
Yeah. But so like even that scene, I was texting Jake. I was like, this scene is lit by a single candle. Why do I have a spotlight over him? You know, like just stuff like that. It was like this scene is so bright. I wish it was like a little bit moodier.
No, I listen again, but like I don't think any of these movies have like a good sense of atmosphere. But for some reason, I don't know. In the first one, again, I do think that whole kind of sequence where the weather changes and it starts to get a little dark and stormy out, and you hear that crackling of the thunder, and you get the rain coming down, and you get the it's kind of silent for a good part, which right before the Kevin Bacon kill, which I really like. There's like a good effective use of silence, which we didn't really talk about the music in this movie at all yet, but you get the iconic. Let me ask you this: the Jason noise. Do you know what they're saying?
Yes, and it pisses me off. It doesn't even piss me off that people.
It.
No. It doesn't piss me off that what people think it is. It annoys me how much it sounds like the other one, like the incorrect one. It's not.
My whole life though, so for what we're referencing, guys, it's the ki, ki, ma, 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 ki, ma, ma, ma. It's that thing for Jason, which again, it's super iconic. Next to the machete and the mask is probably that noise when you associate things with Jason. But I never heard it until I knew what it was supposed to be, and now that's all I hear when I watch.
Sometimes I do, but sometimes I think it was in the third one maybe. It really sounded like ch. It's not even like the ma 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 part. That sounds more like it, but I am so clearly hearing a ch instead of a k.
I don't know though, because it's like I know. So the guy who did the sound, I think his name is Harry Manfred, who did the sound for the first Friday the 13th. It's actually his voice doing that. I'm not sure if it's for all of them, but I know for the first one specifically, that's actually the sound guy's voice doing that, which I think is kind of cool. But I don't know. All I hear now is the ki, ma.
Really?
Like I hear ki, like I don't know. Like I hear it. I don't know. Maybe it's like placebo effect or some shit, or I'm just like, like telling myself that that's what it is. But like I was with you though. Like my whole life. I always thought it was chi 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 and then when I like heard that or read that fact,
because everyone does it too. Like,
yeah,
I've never heard one person talk about that movie, and if they like mimic the sound, never heard one people say the like it's always.
I don't know if we said it, but for those wondering, it's a shortened version of Kill Mom. So instead of Kill Mom, it's Ki Ma, and then they're just repeating that. And that there's no like crazy story behind it when excuse me, there's no crazy story behind it, but like just listening to the sound guy Harry talk about it in that documentary, he was like, yeah, I like we needed a sound, we wanted the Jaws thing, we couldn't afford the Jaws thing, which is funny when you watch Friday the 13th Part 3 and they pretty much just steal the Jaws score for a scene. But in the first one, he was like, we needed a thing for the killer, and I thought of Kill Mom, and that turned into Ki Ma, and it just did it. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting, I guess. Yeah, but so I do want to talk a little bit about kind of the inception of this movie. I love because all right, so honestly, fuck this documentary that I watched. It's so fucking stupid. All it did was make me hate every single person involved with the making of these movies. I know I'm gonna sound like an asshole, but I just hate bullshit. And there's so much bullshit in this fucking documentary of actors or producers or people who were just a part of the crew just talking out of their assholes, like full on just stitch a mouth to an ass and just work it like a puppet. It was so fucking stupid, the amount of dumb shit that they would say. And they'd be like, oh, this was my theory about Jason, and then it would cut to the director and he'd be like, yeah, we just kind of did that for no reason. It was so fucking stupid. But I did like kind of the more honest parts, and that was where like producer or writer Victor Miller and Sean S. Cunningham talking about like the production of the first movie and being like, we needed to pay bills. And I'm not sure if you knew this, but Sean S. Cunningham, he had the rights to the name Friday the 13th and was so confident that he could sell a movie with that title that he took out an ad page in Variety advertising the movie Friday the 13th before he even had an idea for the movie. He just had the name.
Yeah, I remember the title was first, and it was very
yeah, that's so fucking ballsy and cool. Like, could you imagine someone doing that nowadays? Like, advertising. I mean, I guess they kind of did that with the Fire Festival a couple years ago, but like, did you ever hear about that Fire Festival?
Mm-mm.
Dude, the music festival where it's like people paid like $20,000 a ticket to get there, and there was like no performances, there was like no toilets, there was no like water or anything.
When was this?
Dude, there's like 2 documentaries on it. It was like 2020.
Yeah, don't know.
Oh, dude. All right, watch the fucking Hulu documentary. Don't watch the Netflix one, because the Netflix one, I'm pretty sure, is produced by some of the people involved in the Fire Festival. Watch the Hulu one. Fucking nutso. But either way, yeah. So yeah, they took out that page in Variety ad, and then they got an investor, and they basically set out with I think they're on record as saying, let's make a cheap Halloween. We want to cash in on the success and the fame of Halloween. And so they made just a cheaper version of it. We've already highlighted a lot of these similarities and influences from Halloween, which in one of the episodes, I think it was either Black Christmas or a horror movie draft episode, which are both banger episodes, guys. Go check those out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. But in one of those episodes, we were kind of talking about the origins of slashers, what a slasher is, and like what the true original slasher is. Some people say Peeping Tom, some people say Psycho, some people say Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There can be an argument made for Suspiria. I know that it involves witchcraft, but there's a lot of slasher elements in that. Deep Red from Dario Argento could be in that conversation. Halloween. I don't know where I land anymore. I don't know what I consider a slasher anymore. I'm so confused by the idea of the subgenre at this point. But either way, yeah, I think it's really cool that they didn't even have going back to the Halloween thing. They even approached one of the producers of the original Halloween, Irwin Yablans, I believe his name is, and asked him if he wanted to help produce Friday the 13th, and he was like, Nah, I don't want to do like another horror movie. But they got a producer who gave them 25% of their $500,000 budget goal, and they just started filming. So they started production without even having the full budget, which again, like you don't get those kind of independent movie stories these days. Like,
it pisses me off because it seems like it was just so much easier, and it probably wasn't, but like it just sounds like, I don't know, you have like a subgenre like the slasher where it's like you could really make something shitty and have it make that much money. It just irritates me.
Again, $550,000 budget, $59 million. That's fucking outrageous.
Yeah. That's annoying.
Well, I wanted to ask you, kind of moving out of that. I just thought that was some interesting backstory stuff. But Um, oh, another I guess kind of fun trivia thing. You know who fucking hated this movie for the longest time?
Tom Savini.
No, Betsy Palmer.
Good. Yeah, I like her more now.
Oh my god, why do you hate this movie so much?
I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know why people act like they do. But a lot of people, there's a lot of people that really don't like this movie in reference to the franchise, and they're correct. There is nothing that enjoyable about this movie. And I'll tell you one thing, there's nothing that good about it either. So it's not even like, at least with the sequels, I'm getting some enjoyment here. I
do think some of the sequels are more enjoyable in just like a fun point of view. But again, I do think that this movie does some things right. You lose kind of that Betsy Palmer energy in the later films. I think she brings a fun presence to the movie. And again, I do think there are some atmospheric scenes. Like I know you highlight some lighting in the cabins in some of the sequels, but to me, at least in the two that we've watched, again, I haven't seen some of the other ones in a couple of years, so it'll be fun to revisit those. But I don't see that much better in terms of lighting. In fact, I do think that some of the scenes in this first one are a little bit better. I really think
this
that
one's also very dull. Like it's a lot duller too. Like it's just.
Yeah, it's to me, it's like if you guys have ever listened to the horror show, they kind of described Halloween as the godfather of slashers and Friday the 13th as the father of slashers. And I think that's a good kind of way to look at it if you want to kind of look at it from that kind of angle, because yeah, like Halloween did set a lot of the precedent, but then you have Friday the 13th come in and it does it starts that mold, it starts that kind of. Whereas in Halloween, it felt like a lot of the cliches and tropes that they played into or would inevitably create, it feels like those were accidental. It's we kind of have talked about how like Laurie Strode is sort of that iconic virgin final girl. She's that innocent person, but if you listen to John Carpenter and Deborah Hill talk about that character, that's just who she was. They weren't going out of their way to make that character, that sort of archetype character, a pivotal part of horror, and especially slashers. But whereas I feel like Friday the 13th, especially this first one, it was trying to not just copy Halloween or copy Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it was really just leaning into those cliches, archetypes, stereotypes, whatnot. And then from 2 on, they just take that mold that this first Friday the 13th kind of began with, that kind of blueprint, and then just took it and really started forming it and giving it its own identity. So I do think you have, and again, I give a lot of credit to influence. You can talk all the live long day about how 2 is more entertaining or 3 is more entertaining. That's fine. As movies, their place in cinema, the first one is a lot more influential. You wouldn't have 2 and 3 without 1. And I understand. You could say, oh, well, you wouldn't have Friday the 13th without Halloween. Yeah, I get that. I understand. It's a much worse movie from every standpoint: acting, directing, cinematography, music, all of it worse. But I do think that there are some merits to it, whether it's Betsy Palmer's performance. You have, again, I think the arrow through Kevin Bacon's neck, one of the most iconic kills in horror history. I'm not saying it's one of the best, but in terms of just iconic imagery, yeah, everybody knows that scene who knows horror. So I don't know.
I'm gonna bring a little discussion here because
yeah,
we're like doing a lot of raving about Betsy Palmer. Fine. Why do people not remember her as much as they remember Jason? Because she gives a better performance than Jason, because Jason's not really giving a performance.
She's in one movie.
It doesn't matter. It's the first movie. Everyone remembers the first Halloween more than the sequels. So I'm saying, why is the first one not as
That's a bad argument.
As the sequels? I'm just asking a question. I'm not even trying to say this is my argument for this. I'm asking a question. Why is the first one not remembered? It really isn't. Like when people talk about Friday the 13th, the first thing out of their mouth is Jason. Jason isn't even in this. No one talks about Betsy Palmer.
That's not true. Jason is in this. Little Ari Lehman.
Doesn't count because no one talks about Jason in that form. Hockey mask Jason, slasher Jason, they talk about. How come no one talks about Mrs. Voorhees?
People do. I don't know where
No,
this
they don't.
sentiment is
Not-
coming from.
All right, you'd be crazy to say people talk about her as much as they talk about Jason.
I'm
They
not
don't.
saying that they talk
So
about
I'm
her as
saying,
much.
why-
You're saying nobody talks about her when
Compared to
literally
Jason, Jason, no one talks about her.
Scream mentions it.
Because Scream is an intelligently written movie. So
Scream is like
But
a
they-
fucking basically a glimpse, a look into like horror fans' minds, and
even
it
horror fans
highlights this movie.
Who do you like more? Who do you like more as a killer, Mrs. Voorhees or Jason?
Mrs. Voorhees.
You don't. Yeah, you're fucking bullshitting me. That's a bullshit line. You know it. How come? Why do people like and remember Jason more?
Josh, it's not fair. It's not a fair comparison.
He's not answering. He's not answering a simple question.
Movie. She's
I don't
in
care.
one fucking movie, and
So what?
Jason has like 9. It's not fair.
I'm saying if it was really as effective as you're saying, she would
It's
be
one of the
remembered
most
more.
iconic twists in horror history.
I don't care. I don't
Okay,
care.
that's fine. You
I'm so
cannot
over the
care.
twist. I'm so over the twist. It doesn't
You
work. if
cannot
that's,
care, but I think I just think you're severely undermining the influence and impact of this movie. Like, I just think.
I don't care about influence if nothing good comes out of it. Just it's a fun influence.
Okay,
It's
then
not a
I hope
good
you don't
influence.
like Friday the 13th too, because that came out of this.
Yeah, I don't think these are good. I don't think any of these are good.
All right, then we're in agreement.
Like,
Actually,
I
we're
just
not.
don't
I
know
think this
why-
one is fine.
No, you don't think it's fine. You think it's pretty good.
I don't think it's pretty good. I think it is.
Then change
fine.
your rating. Then change your rating. Fine is average.
Oh,
Fine is average, and everyone
this
knows
is
it.
absurd. I do realize that we are a little over 50 minutes
Yeah.
in. We do have 2 more movies to talk about. So I just kind of want to jump to the ending because I have 2 things I want to say about it. So if we haven't fully spelled it out yet, we haven't like fully come out and said it, but Betsy Palmer plays Mrs. Voorhees, Jason's mom. You find out that her son Jason drowned back in 1957 because camp counselors were off having sex and they weren't paying attention and he drowned. And it's very sad and yada yada. Which is another fucking thing that pisses me off about that stupid fucking documentary is they had like 30 different people be like, you know what, Jason's kind of a victim. I don't give a fuck. Oh my god, you drowned. I'm so sorry. You get to kill fucking 200 people over the
Yeah.
course of the next 10 years.
Yeah.
You stop being
Anyone
a
that steps
victim when you
foot on
kill
the
random
grounds.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This sounds bad. If you want to kill the people that were associated with Jason, whatever, you do you're still a lunatic. But now you're killing people 20 years later. Like, that's just step foot on
His
the
mom
wood.
already did. The 2 counselors at the beginning of this movie, I'm pretty sure, are the counselors responsible
Yeah.
for his son's death or her
Yeah.
son's death.
So it's like you avenged him. You don't need to kill.
You got him. Yeah.
Decades later, but she's
I
a
guess, like,
psychopath.
Yeah, I guess the idea is like they're reopening the camp and she doesn't want anybody else's kids
Right.
to drown. I don't know. Dedicate your life
So-
to being the best lifeguard then. You don't have to become a fucking serial killer. at all.
I hate the like. I do kind of hate the first kill with Annie. I hate
Yeah.
that she's in a fucking flannel, and that she's in this bright blue sweater. I mean, I guess she changed, but like, they just do that to trick you. Like, she's-
I don't know.
Is she like? First off, isn't this the same day? Is this the
when
same
she
day?
gets yeah. Well, when she gets decapitated too, I don't know if you noticed this, but it's they made like a mold of her head to fly. It was like on the sticks. It's really really cool hearing Tom Savini talk about it. Basically, he had like the head connected to 2 toothpicks, the prosthetic head for Betsy Palmer, and took an actual machete to it, and just he knew that when he hit the toothpicks that the head would fly off and the blood would go everywhere. But when you see it, you see that the arms move after the head is decapitated, and that's a man. That's a man, and you can tell because if you look at the knuckles on the hand, they're hairy. She has hairy knuckles.
Yeah, I just hate that she changes her attire before by like the evening.
That's a stupid thing to be mad about.
What? Of course it is. Why?
That's such a weird nitpick.
It's just weird. Like, it's just like
She just puts on a sweater. Who gives a shit? I like the sweater. It looks cozy as fuck.
I just wish they kept the sweater in the other shots. Don't show me an orange flannel to throw me off, because it's just to throw you off when you see Betsy Palmer in the blue sweater. You're like, oh, the sweet lady. I remember seeing an orange flannel before, not her.
During the day, it was probably warm out. She probably put the sweater on over the flannel.
Silly. It's cheap. Whatever.
Are you beyond the idea that she put a sweater on over the flannel?
Yeah, I don't see the flannel under that.
Well, then your suspension of disbelief is insane, my friend.
I think the twist here is like, I think it does kind of, it's good. Like it's a good, like the ending is good, but it's a little too late for me for this movie. I can't allow this like decent moment in the movie where it's like, oh, I'm getting someone that's giving a pretty good performance. I'm getting this like this good twist that I didn't see coming. It doesn't erase a lot of what came before that just didn't work for me. And oh, dude, Betsy Palmer, like I wish they made her a little tougher. She's like killing so many people, and all of a sudden, I mean, she gets like slapped by Alice and she gets knocked out. Like
that,
it's like
that chase scene is really long.
Yeah, and it's like every time she gets to Alice just like she just kicks her ass kind of, and she like falls down so easily. She's just so weak. It's like I
love the decapitation though.
Yeah, I like that, but I think
that's what I was talking about when I was like, I think there's two iconic kills in this. I think the decapitation, and I think the kill, the Kevin Bacon kill, the arrow through the neck. I think those
people
are the two.
do love the decapitation. I like it. I do like it. Like it's
it's great.
I don't like the slow motion. I don't like the slow motion. I hate it.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
God, you don't. You just don't dislike anything in this movie. You don't like dislike. You don't.
I dislike so much.
No, you don't. You're just playing devil's advocate.
I don't think you're giving this movie
here.
Any credit, though, which is
fine. I am.
It's
if
fine.
I gave it no credit, it would get a 1 star. It would get a 1 star from me, and it doesn't.
All right, you're not giving it enough credit.
Fine, that's fair. I get it.
I guess personally, I thought you valued influence more, but if that's not a factor, then I can see.
No, this gets a little influence points. It gets some influence points, but I can't give it that much influence because it already took everything from like movies that influence the genre. This influenced a very specific subgenre.
Thing, though.
I don't. I think all it does is introduce the camp element. That is really it.
Yeah, but you can't undermine that. Like, you think summer camp slap, and I may think that they're, hey, and I will say this movie inspired 2 of my favorite slasher movies, that being Sleepaway Camp and The Burning, which was also weird because Felissa Rose, who plays Angela, she was just in the Friday the 13th documentary. And like I was like, oh, that's cool. Is she like in one of them? And I just never knew. And then when she popped up, it just said Felissa Rose, Angela, Sleepaway Camp. I was like, why the fuck is she in this movie? Why is she in this documentary?
Those 2 movies are better than Friday the 13th, but especially The Burning.
I agree.
Especially The Burning. But
dude, I fucking love The Burning.
I do too.
You know what's the shitty part about this podcast is we can only talk about franchises, and there's only one Burning.
That is weird. Like, that's shocking.
Yeah.
You just think they would just cash in.
We should look into how much it would be to buy the rights to The Burning and make a remake.
You know what? Might as well. People making like hundreds of millions of dollars profit on this franchise.
Dude, we'll max out like 5 credit cards. Like we'll spend like 50 grand on it. It'll be fucking great.
But yeah, so the influence, I don't think this does enough influence. I think it just takes the camp, and I don't think that's not that much that they do on their own. Like I think John Carpenter creates more from like nothing. This kind of relies on just a normal atmosphere of the woods, and yeah, they're lucky that it really hasn't been done as much.
Mm-hmm.
But it also no, it's not. I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, the camp genre is fun. It's a very fun genre. It's like your favorite atmosphere for horror movies. But
hell yeah,
I can't. How many points can I really give it for just saying, yeah, we introduced this atmosphere to horror? It doesn't do anything else that influenced the genre, I don't think. Everything else it does, it took from the previous ones that set the pace for the slasher genre.
Here's my final stance. This is going to be my last note on the movie, just in terms of what I think that this movie does right. I think there are some good atmospheric scenes. Again, I've highlighted the Kevin Bacon, and I forget if her name is like, oh, I had to talk about this. So Kevin Bacon's girlfriend in this movie, I forget her name, Macy, something like that. She is planning on going and having sex with Kevin Bacon. Cool, fun. Decides to go get what she, in her mind, thinks is sexy underwear. And when I think of like sexy underwear, possibly the last thing that comes to my mind is essentially brown granny panties.
Wait, is
She
that
pulls
is that,
them out
is
and
that
she's
the
like,
plumber's crack? Is that the plumber's crack?
It might be.
Yeah, this movie, like one of their, so all right, Friday the 13th is known for nudity.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, the first one they kind of like ran with it a little bit more with the sequels, but like the first one, one of the few nudity.
You think
scenes,
the first one does?
No. Sorry, the sequels like
Oh,
run with that
okay.
more than the first one.
Yeah,
First one
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
really have, but like, don't give me plumber's crack as one of your like main nude scenes.
I was fine with it.
That's disgusting. What do you mean you're fine with it? No one likes plumber's crack. It's really unattractive.
On a guy.
No. Plumber's
You don't like
crack
a little
just
crack?
looks. No, I don't. I don't.
Little sneak peek?
No, it looks really silly.
It's
looks
like
really
a
silly.
it's like a teaser trailer for the booty.
Absolutely not. No, it instantly it almost makes every ass unattractive.
Yeah, fair. No, for me it was the fucking disgusting brown underwear. I was like, how did you choose? I don't think this movie understands what's sexy, because the two things that it has are like brown granny panties and strip Monopoly, which might be the dumbest fucking idea ever. Strip Monopoly? How would that even work? Don't try to justify it. I see the wheels turning in your head, Josh. Don't try to think about it.
You pay someone for their property and you strip off a piece of clothing. Easy. Every time you get sent to jail, you take off a piece of clothing. Easy.
But it defeats the purpose of Monopoly, because you have to be smart with your money in Monopoly. If I'm playing strip Monopoly, I'm just gonna buy every single property I fucking land on.
That's a
I don't got to worry about losing my money later if I land on someone's property. I just got to, take my pants off.
Yeah, you're right. Dumb scene. Worse. Makes it worse.
Stupid fucking dumb scene, yeah. No, I'm not saying, like, listen, when I give my score for this movie, it's Josh is making it seem like I give this movie a really crazy high score. If you want to hear me give a crazy high score, I gave Black Christmas, the original one, a 9.5 out of 10. So, which I know already drove Josh's, drove him crazy. I'm not giving this movie a crazy high score. Definitely higher than Josh, but again, going back to what I think this movie does right, I think there are some good atmospheric scenes. I think that there are some really good kills, some very iconic kills. And I think you can't. I think I value what this movie did for the genre a little bit more than what Josh, Josh values, because I don't think you can just undervalue. You can't just be like, oh, well, they said it, they just said it in a summer camp, so I can't give it credit. I do. To me, it's a very unique fear to horror at that time. John Carpenter gets credit for bringing the slasher element to the suburbs into the homes, of people that he's Jaws. It's a shark where a shark normally isn't. So yeah, I'm gonna give this movie credit when you put a familiar genre, a familiar set of tropes in a new interesting location. I think, again, the kills are great. I think Betsy Palmer gives a very fun performance in the end. And we talked about this in our private the other day, but like, listen, if you're gonna give the fucker who plays Art the Clown a lot of credit, you got to give Betsy Palmer some credit too, because she actually has lines to deliver and doesn't just fucking.
So does Kevin Bacon.
Movie.
So does Kevin Bacon. Doesn't mean that means he's good.
Kevin Bacon should have gotten an Oscar for this movie.
I agree.
No, Kevin Bacon's fine. He's probably the best of the counselors, if I had to pick one.
It's because he's Kevin Bacon.
Well, yeah, he went on to have a fucking career. The rest did not.
Yeah,
which is actually sad. Did you read what happened to the one actress? I believe it was Adrienne King, who played Alice, our final girl. I believe she had a stalker, and it got so bad that she asked for her role in Friday the 13th Part 2 to be as minimal as possible, and also she retired from acting for like 20 years after that.
Damn.
Yeah, well, that's fucked up.
Let me give you what I think is really great in this movie. And like legitimately great.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to hear it.
I think it's very brief, but mostly the music. But the last lake shot, I think is actually a really good shot. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
But like the track, that's my favorite track in this movie. I don't really think this score is that good, except for like Yeah, so like I
Yeah, I
just
hate
like
the music.
the sounds that they bring into it, but that track I absolutely love.
Yeah.
They kind of use it a little too much. They kind of like use it back to back, like in the same scene, but it's really good.
So
And
you
the
do like
shot,
that ending?
yes,
Yeah,
I do.
yeah. I think it's a
That's
great
like the
ending.
best part. That's the best part of the movie to me. I don't think it's even the twist. I think it's that like shot, and it's a
I
good
think
it's a good
yeah.
scare. It's a really good scare, I think.
I think the final, yeah, I agree. It's a great jump scare. I think he looks disgusting. Fucking little
Yeah.
bald ass 16-year-old Ari Lerman, fucking hopping out of the water. Yeah, it's creepy as fuck. And I do like to. I think it's a very. That's not the end, because you do get the
Right.
hospital scene. I think the
Yeah.
hospital scene works well too, where they're talking about how she was raving about some boy, and she's talking about the boy Jason, and they're like, "Man, we didn't find any boy," and she just has this traumatized look on her face that's just like, and she says, "Then he's still there." It to me it always sticks with me. I think the final 5 to 10 minutes of this movie are really great. That kind of little final it goes on for too long, but that final confrontation with Mrs. Voorhees is really solid. I love the decapitation. Like you said, I love the little lake scene, and I like that kind of final line. It sticks with me.
And this has, I will say, one of the best, maybe the best, probably the
Yeah.
best poster. It's a great poster for this movie.
The poster's
I love.
fucking magnificent.
It is the best.
I like
So-
the poster for 3 a lot too. The 3D.
Yeah, I kind of like two.
Cool.
Two. Well, we're gonna get to two right now.
Yeah.
Two
Well, Josh,
stinks.
if you loved if you like the decapitation and you love the boat scene, then you should love the beginning of Friday the 13th Part 2.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So on to part 2.
Well, hold on. The last thing I want to take a little break. I have to, I want to grab some water quick. But the last thing I just want to ask your opinion on is how do you feel about I know you're not super high, but you do kind of like her, Betsy Palmer. The whole little speech she gives about Jason. Do you feel like it's a little too much exposition, or do you think it kind of works? Because I kind of like her little, her divulging the past and everything. I think it gives some good context to the movie.
It might be able. It might have been able to be trimmed down a little bit. Yeah, like I don't know if I buy into like her all of a sudden talking to this girl all of a sudden, like,
Yeah,
you know,
that
like
is a little weird.
Like what makes
Shit.
her? Yeah, like I actually just thought of that right now as you asked that question. What makes her all of a sudden break into this monologue to this girl, but she kills 10 people before? You know?
Yeah. Fuck. I did like something I had never noticed.
Jake is stumped right now.
Yeah, I can't defend that one. No, I don't know. Either way,
He's sorry he
Maybe I
asked me
just
that
like-
question.
maybe I just like Betsy Palmer's performance. No, I genuinely just wanted to get your thoughts on it. I do like though that the first person she kills in the modern time, post the opening 2 kills of the movie with Annie. Annie was supposed to be the cook, and she kills the cook first. And you find out during her little monologue that Mrs. Voorhees was the cook at the camp where Jason died. So I thought that was kind of cool that she was the cook, and the cook is the first person she killed, which is something I had never caught. I don't know if it was intentional, but kind of nice little book in there. But yeah, overall, shall we take a quick little commercial break, and then we'll move on to Friday the 13th Part 2.
Let's do it.
They didn't have to wait long, guys. Released 1 year. They really pumped these fuckers out. All right, we'll be back. All right, guys, thank you for holding during that quick commercial break. As always, hopefully we got lucky on YouTube and we actually had a commercial break there. But you never know. You never know. But either way, we are moving on to Friday the 13th Part 2. And as mentioned, they didn't have to wait long if you were a fan of that first one back in 1980, as Friday the 13th Part 2 released in 1981. Fun fact, there were 2 Friday the 13th movies that had come out before Halloween 2. So there were more Friday the 13th movies, despite Friday the 13th 1 not releasing until 2 years after the first Halloween. So I think I said it in one of the episodes recently. It might have been the Shrek episode, but hey, when you find gold, you just keep striking, baby. However, Sean S. Cunningham did not return to direct, as we instead got one Steve Miner, who would go on to direct Part 3, as well as one of the Halloween movies. I think H2O, which is actually one of my favorite Halloween movies. So good on him. Good on him. Man knows what people want out of slashers. Budget of $1 million. Box office 21 mil. So lot less. Yeah, a lot less than the first one, which is crazy because that first one was so huge.
Yeah, but you know what? That's why, because they were probably let down by the first one.
But it has good reviews. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomato score, though, of 33%. So we doubled the budget. We had about $38 million less in the box office and about 34% lower Rotten Tomato score. So that would lead me to believe that this movie sucks. However, this movie's fucking awesome. Not as a movie. I want to go on record. Not as a movie. This has almost all of the problems that the previous movie had. But like I said, when you watch Friday the 13th, you want a couple of things. You want people fucking, people sucking, people drinking, smoking, and dying.
This one,
and
just
you get that.
Like, it's amazing how much they like just turn the dial up to the entertainment factor on this. Like, it was like night and day when I put these on. I was thoroughly entertained, and I told Jake this one just maintains such a better pace throughout than the first. So,
I think the biggest contributor to that is two things, at least. So many more characters in this movie. Just that you hit a point in the movie where you're getting a kill like every 5 minutes, it feels like. And also, it leans into everything, again, like I said, what you want out of a Friday the 13th movie. You get a little bit of sex in the first one. They drink a little bit of beer. They smoke a little bit of weed. But in this one, it's like, oh no, we are getting shit-faced. We are plowing left and right. We are smoking the ganja. We are going all out at all times. This movie is a fucking blast. Start to finish. It is, just like Josh said, the pacing alone. I think in terms of filmmaking, if you want to count pacing as part of the technical aspect, I think that is the one part that is very much improved over the first one. It is the pacing of this movie. It is just way snappier. But again, a lot of that lends to just like, it just touches on all that stuff you want. When you think of, listen, we've already, gone back and forth and discussed like, what is a slasher? What defines a slasher? What even is a slasher? All that stuff. When you think of slasher, when most people think of what the word slasher is, they almost exclusively are thinking of a movie like Friday the 13th Part 2.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna highlight another positive for me. A big positive is the final girl. I think is just way better. I love Jenny.
She was one of the cooler people in the documentary I saw, like less bullshitty, but more just
like I just dig her character so much more. I just think she's a lot better than Alice so far in like the franchise.
In terms of acting, I think so. I think she's giving a little bit of a better performance.
And her character, I like that you get a little bit more intelligence from her. She's very like resourceful. Alice, I mean, like, I don't know. It's just, I think Ginny looks badass too. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I just like everything about her so much more. And I think she is better, like acting wise.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to ask you, is there a movie that comes to mind for Friday the 13th Part 2 in terms of influence? Whereas, like we said, like the first one, Texas Chainsaw, Halloween, were kind of the big two. I think there's a very obvious influence for this one.
From the second?
Yeah.
Is it the bag over the head?
Yeah. Town that dreaded sundown. I think obviously, like in terms of like aesthetic and like look of the main villain of this movie. Yeah, I think that's like a very obvious.
Even
reference.
Like Fear Street, like that's the second one, right? They have like the sack over the
Yeah. Fear
The head.
Street Part 2 is like the most obvious homage to Friday the 13th Part 2.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. Like, it's a summer camp, bag over the head villain. With the exception of, Tommy in that movie really liked his axe. Really, really liked his axe. But kind of, going off of that, I guess, what did you think of the kills in this movie? Because I read a strange trivia fact that contradicted my own experience with this movie. And I'm excited to divulge it. But what did you think of the kills?
I feel like I liked him more than the first one.
There's a lot more, for sure.
I like I always remember the Ralph one.
The strangling. I didn't love that one.
I just
Didn't love
remember
it.
that one a lot. But I love the wheelchair death. That might be the best one. I'm looking at the list here.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at mine too, and I don't want to lend my hand too early. This will most likely change. However, me and Josh thought it would be fun that on our fourth and final episode, since we're only talking about 2 movies that episode, I obviously will probably do like a ranking of all the Friday the 13th movies, but I also want to do either our top 5 or top 10 kills. Maybe we'll see how much time we have, but so I've been ranking as I've been watching the movies, which we've only seen the first 3 so far. Obviously, we've both seen all of them before, but as far as this rewatch goes, each kill that I see on screen, I've been ranking so I can keep track of like what I like more than the others.
Probably
And I will
should've done
say, Mark, the wheelchair kill, the machete to the head, is at number 2 in my top 5 kills right now.
Okay, is your number 1 Kevin Bacon?
No, my number 1 is actually it's in 3.
Nice.
Yeah. But no, dude, I love the fucking machete. I love that.
I'm curious what yours is in 3 because I feel like it could be between 2, but I know what mine is.
Ooh, interesting. Is your favorite of the first 3 so far? Is it in 3 as well, or is it in one of these 2? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope it's the same one.
It might not be though, because like there's like some people that like because I don't know. I think 3 like I kind of like 3 the most in kills. Not too late, just spoiled it. But yeah, I don't know. I think because I got a little bit more. It seemed like a little bit more fun with the kills in this one compared to the first.
Yeah.
I was just let down with the kills in the first one. But
I don't know. I think it's weird because I think the kills in the first one maybe stand out more because there are less of them. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think the kills in this one, again, like I wasn't joking. Like you hit a point in the movie where it does feel like you're getting, at the very least, you're getting a kill every 5 to 10 minutes. Like they are axing characters off left and right, which leads me to another one of my favorite kills, which is like a better version of a kill from the first one, which is the character of Scott, who you probably don't remember most of the characters' names, but you'll know who I'm talking about. Scott is the guy who has maybe the nicest looking eyes I've ever seen on a man in my entire life. He's the one who shoots Terry in the ass at the beginning. He's the one who's constantly trying to... He's like the very, very handsome guy.
Oh, Terry.
All right. We don't get too juvenile on this podcast often, but I don't want to be too lewd. I would commit war crimes for Terry.
I'm just gonna say Terry looks nice.
She's a nice looking gal. That is for sure. All right. Moving on from that. So Scott, his death, he gets basically a better version of what happens to Annie in the first one. He gets his neck slit or his throat slit. And it's just like a better version. I love Tom Savini. I wouldn't be surprised if because I don't think Tom Savini did 2 and 3. I think he did 1 and he comes back for 4, which I do think the effects in 1 and 4 are some of the best in the franchise. I think the kill concepts in this movie are really good, but I don't know if any kill in this movie in terms of actual prosthetic effects is better than the either the decapitation or the arrow through the neck. Mm-hmm. So we talked about, Mark, the wheelchair guy, which, rest in peace, found out he was a male model. He died of AIDS at the age of 42, which is...
Yeah, saw that.
unfortunate. I thought he looked familiar, so I wanted to look up like what else he had been in. Turns out he was more of like a model, which very good looking dude. Give credit where credit is due. But yeah, it sucks, man, because you're rooting for Mark in this movie. He is wheelchair bound, but he seems very optimistic about life. He's actually kind of a likable character. Like he has this, he's little flirtation thing with this other character. At one point, some of the characters are going into town to hit up a bar, and at this, some of the campers have to stay back, and Mark is like, no, like I can't, I'm not gonna go. Like I don't drink. I'm in training. And then the girl who wants to fuck him is like, oh well, then I'll stay too. And they have this little back and forth, flirting, whatever. And it really seems like Mark is about to roll on in, if you know what I mean. Like what I did there. And he goes outside, and Jason just fucking clocks him in the head with a machete. Not only is that bad enough that he was about to get some sex and then took a machete to the head, but he gets like pushed backwards and starts rolling down the fucking stairs. And then you get something that I am 100% sure I love and Josh hates. You get a freeze frame zoom in shot of Mark as he's falling down the stairs. And it's so corny and it's so cheeseball, but I fucking loved it. And by the look on Josh's face, he does.
No, I don't remember it.
You hate the freeze frame at the end of Prisoner of Azkaban so fucking much. I thought it was you were gonna hate it in this movie too. But
I hate the one in Spider-Man 2. Also, no, I don't remember it. I don't remember.
Oh well. Why do you hate freeze frames? Let's just address that. Let's address the fucking elephant in the room. Josh hates freeze frames, and I don't know why.
I don't like them like where it feels random. I fucking hate it.
Is there ever a non-random part? And how is it random? It's the end of Prisoner of Azkaban. It caps the movie
Stupid.
off. We end
it's very
on
random
Harry's.
In Spider-Man 2. It's fucking dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah,
I don't get the
point
point
one
of
in
it.
Spider-Man 2 doesn't make sense.
And you know what? I like it more in Prisoner of Azkaban. I hate it in Spider-Man 2 because it resumes the footage.
Is that the raindrops keep falling on the? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Friday the 13th Part 2. Yeah. The kills are great. I think the final chase scene, which I know you're a bigger fan of than the first one. I think the chase scene with Ginny does hold up a lot better. I don't particularly love Ginny doing the whole like, oh, I'm your mom, Jason, like kneel down, be a good boy. I don't particularly love that, but
I like it from her. Like I don't like it in like where I don't buy it. Like, I don't like.
Well, it's actually fine up until Jason becomes a fucking cartoon character and he sees his mom's decapitated head behind her and
so
he goes,
I can't.
What?
Yeah. So I don't like that in reference to like the movie, to like the writing.
Yeah.
But I don't fault Ginny. I don't fault Ginny for that. So like that's nothing I hold against her.
Ginny's good.
Yeah.
I had actually I just saw her in another horror movie, another slasher from the 80s. She's in April Fool's Day as like the lead character. Really? Yeah, she's actually a pretty good actress. Like it sucks that like it doesn't seem like she had too much of a storied career, but I like her in this movie. I like what you're talking about with like the intelligence. I also just like kind of seeing her try to like understand. You get sort of like her being the sympathetic character towards Jason, especially in that bar scene where she's talking to Paul, her love interest, and one of the dorkiest looking guys I've ever seen. I forget that character's name. What the fuck's his name? Ah, shit.
I don't remember.
There's so many fucking characters in this movie, and it doesn't matter because they all just are. Most of them are just cardboard characters. They're fodder. They are fodder to be killed off, and that's what like I think. I think in the first movie they tried to give those characters a little bit more personality. They tried to, I guess, be a little bit more like, hey, this is a real movie with real characters. And they don't do it very well. And so, like, maybe I give them a little bit of credit for the attempt. I think Friday the 13th Part 2 is kind of the launching point for slasher movies to be like, oh, no, we are just going to introduce a bunch of fucking idiot characters, and they are just cattle for the slaughter. You do not have to care about them. Literally, you could just not pay attention anytime they're not getting killed and just look over when they're about to get axed. And it still works. And that's the best part about this movie. you don't really have to pay attention. I did because I had to take notes, and yeah, the dialogue is shit, and a lot of the acting is pretty shit. But you know what? It's fun. It's a good time. I had fun. Yeah,
I had a
fun.
blast.
I had the most fun with 2 out of all of them. I think maybe the kills in 3 are maybe better, and I might be with you on that one. Oh, so I wanted to talk about in lieu of kills. I read a trivia fact that the MPAA had such a problem with the first Friday the 13th movie because it was too gory that they specifically made part 2 less gory. But while I was watching it, maybe it's just because there's a lot more kills and they're a lot more rapid. I thought it had, like, sure, you don't get any that are like the same level as Kevin Bacon with like the blood's, kind of splurting out, but
the axe to the face in the first one, which I actually forgot to say, I like that kill.
That's a great kill.
Effect.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites too. Yeah, I have that in my top
maybe because
10.
you get decapitation, and even though like it's dark, so you don't really see that much blood. I guess I don't know.
It's pretty gruesome though. You see they do a really. Did I mention that Tom Savini got the role of the special effects artist in Friday the 13th one because they loved his work on Dawn of the Dead 1978 so much?
I would assume that's like how.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they were able to get him though. To be honest,
have you Oh, it's so weird. Maniac also came out the same year as the first Friday the 13th. Dude, Tom Savini was fucking working back then. Holy shit. Have you seen Maniac?
Yeah.
Dude, the fucking shotgun kill in that.
Can't remember. I haven't seen it in so long.
I always forget. My memory is just so much better than people's.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Nah, I have a great memory.
Yeah, me too.
No, you don't.
But I haven't seen Maniac in like 10 years.
That's a long time. You should rewatch it.
I know.
Yeah, dude, that fucking guy in that movie is so disgusting to look at. I don't want to be rude, but like, what is his name? Frank Spinelli or whatever? Fucking disgusting. But anyway, back to Friday the 13th Part 2. I kind of want to look through my notes. All right, so I want to ask you, all right, because I'm getting the slight hint that not only do you think this is a better Friday the 13th movie, but I think you think this is a better movie than the first one. And I'd like... Yeah, okay. All right. So I want to hear your reasons behind that, at least.
Well, I think we pretty much said them. So I think it's paced better. I think it's directed better. And we talked about we kind of talked about the final act, where I like things in the final act of the first one.
Yeah.
I love the final chase scene. I think that's way better than the final chase scene with Mrs. Voorhees. I think it's scarier. I think it's I don't know. I just think there's better framing choices where it feels more effective to me. It feels like there was more attention put into blocking it, I guess. So I think it's better in that regard. I think it has a way better final girl. I like the kills more. I don't know what else I can really grade it because both acting is shit. I guess you have Betsy Palmer, so that's a slight elevation. You have a really good one track from the first one. Yeah, I don't. You get Ralph killed off, which I like. No more him.
I don't like them killing Ralph.
I do. I don't want him anymore. But
I don't like it because all they do is they just replace him in the next movie with a different Ralph type character.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you might as well just keep Ralph.
I guess. Right? So let me see. I like that you get a bigger assortment of characters and it actually feels like they're having a little bit more fun with it. The first one, it just feels so boring and it just feels like they're not really doing much with whoever's in it. I don't know.
But I think, as you have said in the past, being more fun does not inherently mean
correct
that it's better.
Correct. But like I said, I can't tell you anything that is better in the first one that much. I'm actually saying, it's just, I think the direction is better in this one.
Listen, I can understand where you're coming from. I guess it's just a matter of disagreement. I think there are some more atmospheric moments in the first one than the second one. I think one of the more atmospheric bits is the opening of this movie. We didn't even really address it, but you start out with basically a flashback of the first movie.
That
and
hurts it.
Just yeah. So
it's horrible.
That's another thing where we can highlight. I think this movie has really good pacing once the kills start unfolding, basically. Which actually not even true, because I don't know. There's a lot of downtime in between when you have your opening kill, which takes place not long after the events of the first movie. So you have Adrienne King returning as Alice. She's living alone and she's having a nightmare, which is the film's way of giving us a recap of the finale of the first movie. It's very long, it's very drawn out. Like, I wish it just started with, her decapitating her and that being the end. But they show you like the whole chase scene, they show you the decapitation, they show you her she has a vision of a vision. And also, not only in her nightmare does she see her own memories, but she also recalls Betsy Palmer as Mrs. Voorhees having a vision of her son drowning. So, a little bit of dreamception going on in this movie. But it's way too drawn out. And then, you have some good suspenseful moments, actually, which leads to probably maybe one of the funniest bits in this movie. But Alice is kind of walking around her house, and then you get actually a pretty solid kill as Jason grabs a screwdriver and sticks it right in her temple. That's one I wish they had lingered on a little bit longer. You don't really get any blood. You just see it like go in and then it cuts. But the funniest bit is Alice was making tea, so she was boiling water, and Jason is courteous enough to take the tea kettle off the stove. So,
it's because
he's not an arsonist.
She never got to take it off in the first one. She put the kettle on and it was running the rest of the movie when she was making her coffee.
Well, yeah. I guess you know what? I stand with people now. Jason is a victim. He's just a nice guy. He's just trying to.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. I think that's a really good scene of tension building, but you just don't really get, again, if you're comparing it to something like a Halloween or like a Black Christmas or even Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you're not getting much of that prowess in the direction. I don't. You'd have to maybe point to me and like show me or sit down with me and watch it to where like the better blocking or direction is. To me, I don't know. Nothing in this movie stood out visually or aesthetically,
within like the chase scenes. I felt more like engaged in the chase scenes when it's doing like longer takes. When she's like hiding behind the car and you see him in the distance like running like that. I thought that was effective and creepy. When she's in the cabin and you see from the little window in the door like him just like running full speed at the door, like it's just moments like that I dug, and I couldn't really point as many of those out. But even if it was on par with the first one, I don't get any scenes as much in the second one where it's like long ass 5 to 10 minute scenes of nothing happening in the first. And that's not even like nothing's happening because it's a slow burn tension. Nothing is happening. I'm not feeling any like dread. Half the movie they don't even know that anyone's dead, so you don't get this sense of fear in them.
But you listen. I'm not trying to say this is anywhere near as good. You could lodge a lot of. Now it is way better directed. I see your eyebrows raising. I know. Listen. But Halloween, okay? Way better directed, way better score. That's a movie. Laurie doesn't know her friends are dead until the last 10 minutes of the movie. She doesn't find the bodies until the last 10 minutes. A lot of those movies, yes, but a lot of that goes to the score and the direction. But there are moments in this one where nothing's really happening. I mean, Ginny at the bar with Paul and that other guy, you're having like 5-minute discussion about like, is Jason still alive? Is he still out there? What's the psychology of Jason? I don't care. He's a little boy who drowned. For all you know, he's still fucking dead. Okay, you have no reason to suspect or believe that Jason is out there. So why are you fucking speculating on his psychosis? Okay? I don't care. Get back to the boobies, get back to the kills. That's what I'm here for, okay? I don't want to be crude, but that's why I'm watching this movie. And I think I agree. When this movie is focusing on that stuff, it excels. But I think trying to say that it doesn't have moments or sequences of downtrodden boredom like the first movie, I don't think that's very accurate. I think there is very boring stuff in this movie. It's more fun in a lot of elements, like for sure. The kills are better, they're better paced, it's better paced, but I think
that
the
we
movie,
just had different experiences.
And I just think it comes down to, it seems like the atmosphere doesn't work at all for you in that first movie, whereas the first time kind of venturing into this like summer camp, it does kind of work for me. Something too that I think works in the first movie's favor in terms of being a movie is, like I said, because there are a lot less characters, the kills kind of stand out a little bit more, even if maybe they're not as, fast paced as this one, which does help this movie in terms of like a fun factor. But just like as a movie, in terms of like building tension and whatnot, in the second one, I don't really feel tension because it's just like, again, it's just kill, 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 which is fun. But in the first movie, it's like there is that little bit of suspense building. It's like, yeah, all right, they just had sex and the girl walks off and now the guy's alone, and it's kind of darkly lit, and it's you got the storm outside howling, and you got that rain and the crackle of the thunder. And also there is that kind of fear in that first one of the unknown POV killer who seemingly has that friendly face, but also there is that sense of what am I trying to say? Because there's so many characters in the second one, and they do at one point, kind of split them up a little bit, it feels more so like there's that little bit more hope, I guess, if that makes sense. Whereas in the first one, there's so few people at this camp getting picked off one by one that, like, by the time you get to that final character, it's like, oh, there's nobody around. Like, there's nobody to help me. Ginny in this one, yeah, listen, she is a better final girl, but she does get the assistance of Paul. Paul kind of helps her. You want to talk about a final girl? A final girl can handle herself, by her, she doesn't need anybody. She handles it by herself. That's what Alice does. Alice decapitates a motherfucker.
She does handle it by herself in the like shrine scene.
Oh, please, that shouldn't have worked. Jason's just a fucking moron.
But it did work, and that was all her, baby.
That was a fucking... You know what? I have a problem with that scene because that is the biggest fucking Hail Mary of all time. To be like, oh yeah, I'm going to put on the mama's sweater and pretend to be his mom. That'll fucking work. It's fucking dumb.
I think the ending is very clunky because I don't know, like, what... I'm tired of these dream sequences. Like, what's with the dreams? Like, fuck off, man. Stop trying to, like, get, like...
Stop going in the fucking rowboat.
Oh. Does she... I'm trying to remember how this, like... Because these are kind of blending. The second one ends just with the shot of the head, right? Yeah, it does. You're talking about the third one.
Yeah, the third one.
Yeah.
She goes in the fucking canoe.
Oh, okay, Jake, yeah, I have a better memory than you, but I'm saying this one ends the way the third one ends.
All right, well, we know I bullshit like 90% of the time.
But yeah, overall, listen,
fake it till you make it.
I'm perfectly okay that people say this is better than the second one. I always said it too. I think I just kind of I'm kind of like just realizing there's just things I appreciate more in the second one, and I just don't think are there in the first one. And
that's fair. Yeah. If that atmosphere doesn't work for you in that first one, and it really depends how much credit or validation you give it for its influence and what it brought to the genre, I think those are the elements that are probably going to prop up my score higher than what you are going to end up giving it. Or at least why I consider it a better movie than the second one, at least.
How close would these be? How much closer would these be? Let's say you didn't factor influence at all. How close would these be?
They'd be a little bit closer in terms of rating, but I can't... because like I think to me, and I don't know, I could be wrong. I think a lot of like, because for me, my sweet spot is like the 60s and 70s of film. Whereas I know you love the 70s too, but I think you're more into like 20s and 30s movies than I am. Whereas when I watch those, a lot of the time, 20s and 30s movies, it leans more into appreciation. And I will give them good scores, but a lot of the times it's more appreciation and also influence, right? Like Citizen Kane, there are a lot better movies in terms of script, story, character, and direction, but also when you look at the time it came out in, movies were not shot and directed that way. So its influence definitely propels that movie in score. And that's kind of how I feel about the first Friday the 13th, where it's not bringing anything new to the table in terms of like filmmaking practice, but when I consider it a horror film and like what it does for the horror genre and introducing that summer camp setting, and also just, you know, movies just weren't as bloody back then. You know, again, like you have those giallo films, but again, the blood in those movies looks like fucking red paint, whereas Tom Savini,
so
what he brought to the table.
Hold on, because that's not... Tom Savini did Dawn of the Dead. That looks like red paint.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Friday the 13th.
I'm saying you can't be criticizing Argento's movies for saying
I'm
they
not
look
criticizing.
like red.
I'm not criticizing. I'm saying it as a positive for Friday the 13th one, where it brought in a more realistic blood style and blood aesthetic, which I think is important to the genre. That's all. I love the way that fucking the red paint look of the blood. It's just very aesthetically pleasing.
Whoa, you can't say Friday the 13th brought in a more realistic style of blood. What? No way.
Okay, well, correct me if I'm wrong. What?
I guess I'd have to sit down and think. Is it like, does it look like red paint in Black Christmas? Like, I don't... Or like Texas Chainsaw.
Black Christmas isn't that bloody, and neither is Texas Chainsaw.
I don't think Friday's that bloody. Like, it really
you see
isn't.
A fucking arrow go through a guy's neck.
So?
You see a woman get decapitated. And a lot of Texas Chainsaw, like, I don't know how much we've talked about that movie on this podcast, but so much of the violence in that movie is not visual. Like, you don't see the hook go in the
I'd have to think about it. There's no shot we can say that.
I'm saying
Friday
in terms
13th,
of
like,
kills. I'm saying in terms of kills. Even looking at Halloween, like there's not really bloody kills. Like you get a little bit of blood during Annie's kill. I don't really.
I don't think
much
Halloween
blood in Bob's kill. So yeah, that's
Halloween's not as graphic, but there's so many other 70s horror movies.
For slasher-esque movies with kills.
I guess I'd have to think about it more.
You have seen more than I have, so if there is one, again, all right. So we're getting too much.
Yeah, I don't want to dwell. I don't want to dwell too much on this.
I'm kind of tapped out on part 2. Are we in agreement though? The wheelchair guy, Mark, that's the best kill of the movie. All right,
yes.
Yeah, I'm happy about that one. Yeah, I didn't really. Oh, I did like that this one, again, kind of, harkening back to its influence from like movies like Halloween and Black Christmas. And now that it's Jason and not Mrs. Voorhees, you get some like breathing sound effects, which are an obvious, I feel like, homage to that. Oh, wait, no, it's this one. This I thought it was the third one. Again, the shit's blurring together. This is the one that directly just steals the Jaws score during one of the scenes.
When you said that, I didn't remember that. But yes, I think you did say the third one does.
Yeah. Also, I'm getting oh, dude, you're right. My memory sucks. It's this movie where the girl gets brown underwear. It's not the first one.
Oh, okay. I couldn't... I think
gotta start looking at my fucking notes. I will say, in terms of effective horror scenes, the first time that you actually see Jason with the bag over his head, I think that's pretty effective. It's pretty iconic. It's cool. Yeah.
He's also more. I think he's more effective than Mrs. Voorhees. Like I said, I don't buy into Mrs. Voorhees being like an effective. No, I'm saying like I don't buy her being that much of a threat. Once you get her in the chase scene, it completely like dilutes everything you see before.
She's getting like knocked over and shit.
Yeah,
like, she just gets like hit in the stomach and like keels over. Yeah,
and she changes her clothes. I don't like that either.
She's creepy, but obviously Jason. Fucking the clothes thing. God damn it. But yeah. So what do you think? Do you think you got any more about this? Or I wrote my last note. Jesus, Jason is fucking hideous.
No. Not really.
I love the knife in the shoulder. Or is it the machete?
Yeah.
Right? She just clocks him in the fucking shoulder. Mm-hmm. That is a really good effect. That looked awesome. Fucking loved that.
Yeah, it looked painful as shit.
Yeah, I don't know what this was in reference to, but one of my last notes was Jason's just a clumsy goofball in this movie. I don't know. He probably like fell over or something. This is before Jason is like superhuman, demonic assassin from hell kind of character. He's still like kind of just like a wacky hillbilly in this movie.
Yeah.
Like fucking Hills Have Eyes, deformed motherfucker. Yeah. But yeah, do you want to move on to part 3? Do you want to take a break or do you want to just move into it?
I'm good.
All right, cool. I'm just going to take a sip of water and then I am good to move on. People can listen to me sipping. Stay hydrated, guys. If you don't, you could die. All right, we are moving on to Friday the 13th, part 3. Yep, you guessed it. 1 year after the last one. 1982, again directed by Steve Miner. Budget of $2.2 million. Box office of 36.7 mil. And a Rotten Tomatoes score of 11%. 11%, I reiterate. Wow. But yeah, so this movie made about $15 million more than the last one. They did, again, double the budget. But yeah, so I don't know. It's weird. So maybe that's a testament to on your side that people didn't like the first one that much, so they didn't see the second one, but they liked the second one more, so they went to see the third one. But did they like it more because it was a better movie or because that there was more titties and kills? That is the question. That's the question.
Well, Jake, we kind of rate movies differently when we're doing like a critical score, and you do factor in enjoyment. So it's kind of weird that now all of a sudden you're being
everybody
like,
does, and everybody who says they doesn't is a liar.
Yes, but you're completely removing that when you say, I know you think this is more fun, but does that make it better? For you, it should.
Not always.
Oh, so now you're picking and choosing when you want to factor in entertainment.
No, I'm not picking and choosing. It's always a tandem thing, though. It's never just like, oh, I'm giving this movie a high score because it's fun. Sometimes a movie, I think, is really well made and fun.
Which Friday the 13th is not really well made.
No, it's not.
And it is not fun.
It's really well made.
But it is also not fun.
Some parts are fun.
It's boring as shit overall. Overall, it's boring.
Oh, all right. Some parts are boring.
You know it is.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. I don't hate it either.
I look forward to the kills. I like the last 15 minutes.
You look forward to those kills. I'll look forward to the better kills in the sequels. How's that? You look forward to those. All right.
Fine. But yeah, I don't think I read the IMDb synopsis for part 2. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We talked about it enough.
I forgot my 3D glasses.
Yeah, you had them for the Jaws episode.
Yeah, I realized. I thought my box set had the 3D version. It doesn't. You have to buy that separately. So I couldn't watch this in 3D.
All I could think while watching this movie was, hey, remember when we talked about Jaws 3D and Josh said that it was better and they do it less in Friday the 13th Part 3? And I was like, well, he could have not been more fucking wrong. They're doing this shit every 5 fucking minutes.
I forgot.
A stupid fucking rake in my face.
Assholes. I forgot some of these. So I have it listed. I think I listed at least 90% of the moments. The ones I remembered. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, let me read the synopsis, and then I want you to list all the ones, because that's a good segue. If you guys didn't know, this movie's in 3D or was filmed in 3D in 1982, so you can imagine how good that is. Jesus Christ, this is the fucking IMDb synopsis for Part 3. Jason Voorhees stalks a group of friends who have just arrived to spend the weekend at a cabin near Crystal Lake.
Lovely.
Well, that was a waste of fucking time.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, 3D. Let's go. Let's hear it.
So should I read the ones I remembered, or should I just read them in like order of like when they happened?
Oh, do you have them all listed?
Yeah, I think as many as I like picked up on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just do the ones that you that I want to hear them all, or at least all the ones that you wrote down.
All right. Pole, the handle of the shovel or whatever.
Yeah, with the farmers. Yeah.
Yeah. The snake. The bat.
Yep.
The cigarette. I can't really remember that one as much.
I liked that one. That was nice. Yeah.
Was it an eyeball or the rock?
Yep.
The eyeball that he holds up, right?
Do you think it was a rock?
Yeah, I did for a second.
It's a full on eyeball. Yeah, it's the eyeball. The eyeball's my favorite one with the new Ralph. Yeah.
Oh, that's your favorite? That's crazy. Wallet? I don't remember the wallet. The chain punch in the window, the car window.
Yeah.
Maybe my favorite, the yo-yo.
Oh, the yo-yo. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
The pitchfork. When he stabs him at the pitchfork blades. The spear gun. I do like that one. The popcorn. Oh my God, the popcorn was funny. Where it's like popping. Yeah, it's like I think the popcorn's just like popping out of the pot onto the fireplace poker and Rick's eyeball.
Yeah. So what we've learned from what Josh just read is that this movie does it way more than Jaws 3D attempted to do it.
You know what? Have you seen Friday the 13th in 3D, like actual 3D?
No.
Okay, so Ross has a copy of it. Like he bought the 3D version and we watched it. Actually doesn't look that bad.
Don't you need a 3D TV?
Maybe theirs is. I don't know.
Or do they just make 3D Blu-rays?
No, I think they just make the movies like 3D compatible.
Shit.
I think.
I'm kind of tempted now.
It kind of worked. It kind of I remember. So the ones I remember is the pole, the snake. I remember the bat. I definitely remember the yo-yo, the spear gun, the popcorn, and Rick's eyeball. Those are like the main ones I remembered.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I actually forgot about Rick's eyeball. So I thought I only remember like 5 of them.
Did you? I don't know how much you looked into the behind the scenes. Did you see how they got the effect for Rick's eyeball popping out?
No.
They had the prosthetic made and they tied just like a string to the eyeball, and so like when he squeezed it, they timed it to where they just pulled the eyeball out, and it happened so quick and it's cut so quick that it just like you can very much tell that it's like a prosthetic head. Like there's just kind of like as much as we like highlighted how good the Kevin Bacon kill is, you could tell that it's a rubber neck. Like it's still cool for the time, but it's still a cool kill. But yeah, no, that's how they did it. So when the guy pulled it, he did, squeezed the head, they just pulled the string and the eyeball kind of came out. So I gotta ask you then, because we kind of talked about it earlier, what is your favorite kill in this one? And I guess by extension in the first 3 movies, right?
It's the handstand.
Really?
Yes. Yep.
That kill's kind of mid.
What? And plus you get the aftermath of it, which I love. I love that it kind of comes back to that. So like I count that with it.
Damn, I really thought we were gonna have the same.
Dude, that's like the kill in this movie. Is yours the spear gun in the eye?
1,000%. It's the harpoon through the eye.
I thought it was gonna be either that. When I said 3, it was that and Rick's eye popping out, like the head squeeze.
The harpoon through the eye is the best looking kill in these first 3 movies. I like the brutality of the handstand.
You get a good effect. You probably have the better effect, but I love how brutal it is.
Yeah.
And I love that he's kind of like inside out, like hanging above her. Like I kind of count that with it.
I have 2 issues with that kill. The first is that one of my biggest problems with this movie is that jackass is always doing handstands for no fucking reason. Stop it. You're pissing me off. Just fucking relax,
yeah, no,
you asshole.
That's why I like it, because Jason's fucking sick of it. Yo, stop doing handstands. I'm going to teach you a lesson. Right. And he just comes down at his...
You might have just sold me on the kill with that, yeah. No, it's my problem is like I just wish you like saw the knife or the machete go. No, I feel that. Him.
But with what you see and what you don't see, I don't remember. I don't remember feeling that brutal. But it like even the sound of it.
It's the way it's shot, because it's like shot from like a really low angle, looking up from like down from the floor.
Yeah.
And you just see like Jason like enter frame and like stand over him, and he's doing the other guy's doing the fucking handstand. And you're right. It's like the 2 things are, you get like a cool like thud sound effect when he like swings the machete down, and then also because of where the camera is positioned, unless I'm misremembering, you get kind of like a blood splatter onto the camera.
I think so.
Like a bunch of blood just kind of floats down, which is cool. But
so I think it just has more like components to it. Like I think the effect is cooler with the spear gun. I do love that kill.
Yeah.
But there's not like it's not really as scary as the kill for the handstand. Like that one's just creepy. So not creepy. It's just more intense and like it's like scary because you get that view. It feels very like close and like I don't know.
No, that's fair. To your point though, I'm glad you brought up like the components around the kill because not only do I think that the spear through the eye, the harpoon or whatever, is the best effect that we've seen probably in the first 3 movies. I think that it's also really fucking cool and effective and iconic. This is the first time that you're seeing Jason with the iconic hockey mask.
Can I tell you, in that same scene, it's probably the second, maybe the third, like one of the funniest parts in the movie. And I think I'm the only person that laughs at it. After he kills her, he just does this little turn when he walks away. He like, I don't know, it's how his head moves. He goes like this. And then he like walks away. He does this like little head dip and he like just like casually walks off. Like just it's so like he's so unbothered. He's like, yeah, that's fucking right. I just did that. On to the next. It's oh my god, it's so funny. And I'm like the only person that finds it funny. So I'm
gonna have to rewatch it. I'm gonna have to rewatch that scene then, and just to see that little head turn.
But there's a clear funniest part for me, and I can wait.
Movie?
Yes. Oh my god, it's so funny.
Oh shit.
And again, I'm trying to think. I might be one of the only people that actually laughs at it.
I do have to highlight something that drags this movie down. It's fucking Shelly. I fucking hate Shelly.
Oh, I love Shelly.
Shelly? No, you're not alone. I looked this up because I was like, does anyone else share my hatred? Everybody who loves Friday the 13th loves this fucking guy. They're like, he's so I'm like, dude, he is a fucking asshole.
Mr. Bag of Tricks over here all the time. The dude doesn't stop.
I have never wanted to see a character's death on screen more than his, which sucks because I hate Shelly. I fucking hate Shelly.
Why? Because he tricks everyone?
He pulls a bunch of fucking pranks on people. Yeah. They're not funny. They're not funny pranks. They're asshole pranks. Everybody tells him to stop, and they tell him to stop, and he says dumb shit, and they're like, you're an asshole. He's like, excuse you, I'm not an asshole. I'm an actor. First off, fucking going around putting dumb, stupid masks on, stabbing people with fake knives, that doesn't make you an actor. That makes you a piece of shit. Also,
no way.
He's so fucking depressing and schlubby, and I'm not trying to be fucking rude, but god damn it, if he just dressed a little bit nicer, had a normal fucking haircut, and didn't act like such a cocksucker the entire movie.
He wears a nice pair of jeans. He has a pretty nice ass.
No, he's a fucking asshole. He's rude to everybody, and then he goes, why don't you like me?
He's not rude. He's not rude to everyone.
Yes, he fucking is. He goes around fucking scaring people, and then when he
that's not rude.
No, yes it is. Yes it is.
No, it's fun. It's playful. Rude. It's playful.
It's not playful. If you did that to me, I would be so fucking mad.
Dude, I scare so many people.
I hate it.
Really? You never jump out and like scare people?
When I was fucking 12.
Oh, I do it. I did it like yesterday.
No. Fuck. This is one of our best episodes. No, listen, Shelly's a fucking asshole, and then he fucking he is given, the one guy Rick's car, and he first off, fucking, he goes after the girl who's like his blind date, to which later on in the movie, he's like, I like you, and she's like, listen, no, which, fair, fine, it's fine, take it like a champ, walk it off. The second she walks away, he goes, yeah, we'll talk, bitch.
First off, no, she says we'll talk later. So he says, yeah, we'll talk.
And then he calls her a bitch.
To himself, not to her.
Yeah, because he's a fucking pussy.
Hey, at least he has manners not to call a lady a bitch to her.
Oh, God, I fucking hate Shelly. I don't get it. I looked it up because I was like, somebody else has to hate this fucker. And everyone's like, no, he's so charming.
I can't wait. No. I can't wait to talk about 5 with you to see if you like a certain character.
Joey.
Yeah, is that his name? The fucking
Got the chocolate all over him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to spoil anything, but at least you don't have to suffer him for that long. Damn. No, I hate Shelley. I fucking hate Shelley. I hate his face. Fun fact, that guy, he retired from acting after this and became an entertainment lawyer and was involved in some pretty big entertainment lawsuits. Like, the guy became, like, a fucking big-time lawyer, like, in Hollywood. It's pretty crazy, actually. Yeah, the actor seems really normal. He's in the fucking documentary, and he's talking like a normal fucking human being. So why the fuck does Shelley sound like that? God, I hated that fucking character. Either way, I just had to put that out there. Little rant.
You know what I liked? I liked when Rick is pulling up the rope, like the pulley. I like that little fake out moment you get when you think he's gonna like pull up like a dead body, and she's just like swinging on it. I like that part.
The only issue is like that girl is clearly being set up as the final girl, so like in that moment. Did you think, and this is maybe me just being a dumbass, did you think that the main girl and Vera, who is like Shelley's blind date girl, that they looked extremely similar? Like they looked very
between her
much
and the final
like,
girl?
Yeah. Like there were scenes where I thought one was the other.
Yeah, but I feel like that happens in these movies sometimes where like there's like a couple characters where they do like, look similar.
Normally they throw in like a blonde, a brunette, maybe a redhead in these movies in terms of the girls. I mean, the guys are like give or take. I don't really remember all the guys except for Shelley. I guess they have that. He's fucking memorable. I just remember that I fucking hate him.
I gotta just mention, just real quick, the beginning. This felt even longer. Well, no, it was longer than the recap.
Jesus Christ,
the recap in a second. And I was like, are they not going to do anything? And they do, but it's just to see Jason like crawl away. They show you everything, and you just see him like crawl or move. I was like, this is. When I was watching, I was like, can we just like fast forward this? And they were like, no, just leave it on. What if something happens? I was like, all right. I think it was at least 5 minutes. I think. Dude, it was so long. I was like, this is awful. This is really like distracting. And
I just don't understand. Like I'm hoping that 4 ends this trend. I'm so sick of starting these fucking movies with just like 10-minute flashback sequences. Like in 2 you kind of get away with it a little bit. Yeah. A little bit because it's like, oh, it's a nightmare. She's having a nightmare. Fine. Still way too fucking long. In this one, it's like, oh no, this is fully just, hey, because as if a random person would go to see Friday the 13th Part 3 if they had not seen the last 2 fucking movies.
Well, I think there are people that would.
Why would you?
I think I do. No, I will say there are people that you could watch these movies wherever you want. Maybe not the second like trilogy part. You probably need to watch those. So like,
but in 1982, going to see a movie in theaters like without having, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
I've done it.
Do that now.
I've done it.
I know, and I never understand how or why. I guess I
don't do it much, but like I don't know which
different.
Ones you are.
Yeah, it's funny that we're doing this because like I don't know, like I feel like you're not the biggest franchise guy at times. Like you'll love like a first or second movie in a franchise, and you'll be like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to see the rest.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're doing this to force you to watch the rest.
Well, I've seen like all these.
No, I'm just saying in general with like, other franchises. But so back to this one. I'll tell you what I fucking hate on top of the opening flashback is you want to talk about boring shit. You want to bring that fucking topic up. How about the really really long backstory of our final girl in this movie when she's telling Rick what happened to her 2 years ago, and you get the silliest, dumbest fucking. It's like what do you call that? It's like overlapped.
The superimposed?
Superimposed, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
They superimposed the flashback over her telling this story to Rick. and
I hated it.
all you find out, it may be the worst scene in the first 3 movies. It's so fucking long and stupid, and she's telling this backstory, this thing that happened to her two years ago, where her mom slapped her in the face or something, and she ran off into the woods, and this fucking ugly motherfucker, who is Jason, obviously, attacks her. And it just makes Jason so non-threatening, because he spends about damn near 5 minutes just falling over, grabbing her. She crawls a couple feet. He catches up to her, grabs her again. She gets up, stumbles a little bit. It is like the epitome of when people make fun of like slasher movies for their long or their elongated, mindless chase sequences that are usually drawn out and terrible. It's like that, but like even dumber. It's just they're like wrestling in the woods. It's so fucking stupid and long. Anyway.
The beginning feels long, and that guy is so gross. The one that's just eating and like drinking everything in the store. The couple.
Oh yeah.
And then he like takes a shit, and he just drinks like his whiskey as he's like shitting. Nasty. It was just gross.
I'll in terms of characters, I hated too. I hated the fucking clear Cheech and Chong ripoff. That fucking annoyed me. And also, like, listen, I don't want to sound like a total fucking pothead stoner, but I can obviously spot fake weed in a movie. So like when there's a scene where they're like in the car or in the van being followed by the cops, and they think that the cops are going to pull them over, and they have a bunch of weed, so everybody in the van starts eating it, to which this is when you find out that one of our characters is pregnant. And you'd think that maybe, just maybe, oh hey, the pregnant woman might be the final girl. Nope. Her and the fetus, deletus, gone. Weird decision on the part of Friday the 13th. Steve Miner, I gotta ask you, did she have to be pregnant? Like, did she have to be?
I didn't understand why. I was like, so first off, I missed it. It's like a quick like moment that they tell you, and I think I was writing a note. It was like when they're in the van, right?
It's that scene, because he asked her to eat the weed, and she goes, "We're pregnant."
Yeah, missed it.
To which that guy is very much so not ready to be a father. Just the way he looks, not ready to be a dad.
I'll tell you a scene I hated. Maybe you liked it. I don't know. I just hated this whole side plot, the motorcycle gang.
So I wanted to talk about that, actually, because I think, whereas I said that Friday the 13th Part 2 was the first one was just trying to capitalize off the success of Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those kinds of films. It's very clear. It's very evident in its influences. However, I think Friday the 13th Part 2, as to what I said earlier about it during that discussion, which is that was the first movie to kind of take that mold and go, hey, we're just going to introduce a fuck ton of characters that are just going to be fodder. But they're still in the realm of, hey, these are all counselors. We're just going to have a lot of them. This is the one that set the precedent for what will go on to be the rest of this franchise, where the whole summer camp angle, the whole camp counselors being the only people getting axed off kind of thing, that is not the case anymore. This is where they start introducing characters that have nothing to do with the camp, solely just to get killed. These are just cardboard characters that are, their sole existence is not even to just be fodder, but to solely be for when you go on the Wikipedia for these movies, or you go on a kill count page and you go, I don't remember that many kills, and then it lists all of them, and then you go, oh yeah, there were 3 random bikers that planned on burning the farmhouse down and then just got killed because Jason spends 95% of this movie hiding in a fucking barn.
Did you say not to be fodder?
Yeah.
Not to be Kane Hodder?
No, I said no. Oh. We haven't gotten to him yet, Josh.
Oh yeah, sorry. We have 3 more after this before we get to him.
3 more before we get to good old Kane, which I did kind of want to look up, because I forgot that the actors who played Jason in these movies.
I didn't realize they were all different. I thought there
really?
Yeah, I thought there was a couple that played like 2, but I guess not.
No, yeah, they interchanged him out quite a bit here. I have the page up.
I like
So,
CJ. I'm a CJ guy, I think.
who the fuck is CJ?
CJ Graham, right? In the sixth one?
Oh yeah, dude, I fucking love Friday the 13th Part 6. Jason Lives, baby. So these are all the people that played him. Ari Lehman, who played the little boy version in 1. I assume they go in order. So Warrington Gillette played Wild Hillbilly Jason in Part 2. Steve Daskowitz played him in this one, I think. Then we have Richard Booker, Ted White, Tom Morga, C.J. Graham, Kane Hodder, and then Ken Kersinger and Derek Mears. So a lot of different Jasons, and it is not hidden very well, as Jason seemingly has a very different body type and walks different and acts different in almost all of these movies. So that's always, fun. We love lack of continuity. That really hits home, hits the spot. So I wanted to talk about, we kind of brought up the pregnant woman. How did you feel about her death? I thought it was one of the cooler ones in the movie. It's kind of a very similar kill to Kevin Bacon. She gets the machete through the back while she's laying down, through the chest. Odd choice for the pregnant character, but
big fan. I like that it's like back to back. I think that it does not follow her boyfriend, or does it show another kill in between then? It might show another kill in between then, but I don't know.
The kills are not as rapid in this one as the second.
I did
or at
hate
least they don't feel as quick.
She's reading Fangoria, and
that's cool.
Yeah, and blood just drips down on her magazine, and she has no clue where it could be. She's like, where is this coming from? I think she actually says that. She says, where is it? I don't know. But then she eventually looks up, but like, dude, look the hell up. What do you mean where what's this? Where could this be? Oh, that annoyed me. That pissed me off.
She's like so bamboozled by where this blood
She actually says to herself, I wrote, where's this coming from? First off, you ain't saying that to yourself. Secondly, look the hell up. But then you get nice continuation of forget his name, but Handstand Boy's kill. He's just all like bunched up above her. See a little insides showing. Love it.
No, it's good. Did you catch the Tom Savini little article in the Fangoria magazine? There's like a whole page dedicated to Tom Savini, so I thought that was kind of a cool little homage, because he did the first one and whatnot.
Oh wait, so yeah, I didn't like the motorcycle gang. Just like I didn't like that, felt very like just forced in for the sake of having it tie into the end of like when she drives the van.
Well, dude, what the fuck happened to the one biker? You get the one female gets killed, the one white dude, and then you're like, the other guy goes in there and you assume, oh, he probably dies, dude. And then he just fucking pops back up at the end.
No one is surviving 3 to 4 bashes in the head from Jason. Jason is like coming down at his head.
He looks fine.
He just had a little blood here. He was like, oh man, you got me there.
Little trickle.
And then he just dies so quickly when he comes back. There was like I don't know why they brought him back.
It's like also, why you were about to burn these people's farmhouse down. Why are you trying to help this woman fucking run?
Well, because he attacked him. Got to have revenge.
Yeah, true. This movie is all about revenge. Dude. This movie is literally a trickle down of revenge, because they fuck with Shelly and Vera in the store, which leads to Shelly. Oh no, did I even mention that Shelly does that? Shelly is borrowing Rick's car and runs over the motorcycle gang's motorcycles.
Well, you have to.
You don't.
Yeah. Do
you know how much fucking damage that could cause to the bottom of the car? That's not your car.
They're chasing you, trying to kill you.
No. You're giving Shelly too much fucking credit. I don't know why, but I know in a lot of other movies, if this was the same fucking character, you would lamb-blast this motherfucker as just being an asshole. Josh, the fucking psychopathic nature of taking somebody else's vehicle, this is not even your car, and running over somebody's motorcycles. I understand.
He runs over the tire. He runs over the wheel of the motorcycle. That's it.
If you borrowed my car, and went somewhere and ran over somebody's motorcycle with it in an act of revenge, I'd be pretty pissed.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
If I told you, yo, this guy was trying to kill me, he was going to chase me.
He didn't try to kill him.
He was going to chase after him with his
bike.
No, he was going to chase after him with his bike. He got on his bike to chase after them. No, I would not. You would not be mad at me.
Well, yes, I would. Either way, psychotic of the bikers to try to exact revenge by attempting to fucking burn down the barn.
Yeah.
That's psychotic.
One of the funniest parts in this was when the girl of the gang goes in there and she looks like a fish out of water. She is like looking at everything like it's the first time she's ever seen this stuff. Like she's like mesmerized. Yeah. And then she like looks at the canteen and she like fucking smacks it.
Dude, she's acting like a fucking child in a candy store. Just like, what?
Yeah.
Look at all this cool stuff. And then she starts like swinging on the fucking the rope, which is like fucking stupid. Oh, my earbud fell out. Jesus. These things do not stay in. Why the fuck? I hate the end. Like the end. I
do too.
Accidentally brought it up. I accidentally brought it up in the second one. I hate it for two fucking reasons. Because we get another fucking canoe or rowboat. I don't know what the fuck it is. The final girl in this one, I can't remember her name. She's like the only character's name I cannot remember.
I'm with you. Hang on.
Vera, Shelley, Rick,
Chris.
Well, that's why. It's a boy's name. I'm just kidding. No, Chris. Yeah, so Chris is like our final girl. Her and Rick get into an altercation with Jason, and this is where you get the kind of iconic head squeeze of Rick. The eyeball pops out. I'm sure it looks awesome in 3D. Looked a little goofy in regular 2D, but that's fine. Still a pretty cool kill, pretty effective for the time. I enjoyed it. I liked it. You get that whole kind of, final fight thing. Like we said, the biker jumps out, tries to help her, tries to fight Jason, gets his ass beat again. And this is where you get a pretty cool effect, and one that they did a little bit in the last one, and I will go on record and say I remember this vividly. They do it way, way better in the next one. There's such a cool effect in the next one that I cannot wait to talk about next episode. But it kind of ends with Chris taking the machete and just clocking Jason in the fucking head with it. Goes through the mask, goes through like part of his head, through his skull. You get such a really cool effect. He has a couple more seconds where he like tries to like move towards her, and then he falls down. I love that effect. That's great. All of that's fine and dandy. Love it. And then you get the fucking canoe shit again. And it's so repetitive. It's so stupid. Whereas in the first one, it's like, yeah, she's out on a lake. It makes sense. She went through this traumatizing thing. She goes in the fucking canoe. She goes out on the lake to get away, to get to safety. She doesn't want to be surrounded by anything. I get it. It makes sense. In this one, she's in the fucking canoe. And, like, Jason runs out of the fucking barn coming after her and shit.
That's scary. That's creepy.
It's not, because you can fucking see that she is in, like, not even ankle-deep water.
No, I'm saying when you see him in the window.
She can fucking...
When you see him in the window, I thought...
He just looks like a fucking creature from Hills Have Eyes.
The things you say, things that you have said creep you out. And then, like... I don't know.
What was that one? There was one thing that you pointed out a couple years ago from this like child's thing, and I thought it was so stupid.
What? Like
it was from like some like child's. It might have been from like a
Goosebumps.
A Goosebumps episode.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There's some scary shit.
You like sent you sent it to me, and there is. I don't know why I saw the dog with like the yellow eyes.
That's
and, like,
not scary. That's not scary.
No, it's so creepy.
Was it when the people turn around and their eyes open up like the back of their hair?
It might have been. I genuinely, it was like 3-4 years ago. Now what was I gonna say? Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I don't find much in any of these movies that scary, but no, it's I get what you're saying, and it is a little creepy at first, but then Jason gets outside. My issue is she is so close to the like it's not the shore, but like you can see land, like it's like 4 feet away from her. It's my same issue with any of the Jaws sequels. I think Jaws 2 was the one I had the biggest issue with, where I was like, I get there's a shark in the water, but you can get to land. It's right there.
Well, was it about
it's
getting
like,
to land? Was that why it was scary?
her canoe gets stuck, Josh. Her canoe gets stuck, and she's just trying to. She spends fucking 5 damn near minutes trying to fuck around with like the tree branch she's stuck in, and all I'm doing is like trying not to scream at the.
Well,
the
she doesn't want to
screen
get
because
out.
It's 3 a.m.
She wants to she doesn't want to get out of the canoe and go to land.
No, Josh. There's like she's in like a fucking creek.
Yeah.
She's not even in like a fucking river. She could just get to so water separates the farm where the farm is and the other side of the land. She could get out and run.
Oh, yeah.
Instead she fucking sits fucking around with the canoe for 5 minutes, and then it doesn't even matter because it's a dream. So
and it's just like beat by beat the same exact thing, and it's like, dude, come on, don't just recycle it, and it's not even like nearly as effective. It's
no, it's
and I don't
not.
like the hysterical thing that she does. Wasn't a fan. Where she like kind of loses.
Oh, I
it.
liked that.
Didn't like it. Didn't work.
I kind of liked that. I thought it was fun. I thought it was kind of fun. It was a nice little, because you get that like traumatized look of Adrian King / Alice in the first one, where it's like, well, you know, like then he's still there, and it's clearly she's traumatized. But there's something I kind of like love. It's kind of demented about someone just having like a true psychotic breakdown at the end.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. Like, it doesn't work the way like Texas does.
Yeah, no. Well, that is such a great fucking shot. Oh God, I love Texas. We got to do those movies maybe next summer. Have you seen Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey?
No, I've only seen the first one, Jessica Biel, and the newest one.
Josh, when I say that the one with Matthew McConaughey is the most absurd horror movie I have seen since we watched Black Christmas 2019. In terms of like creative decisions, I was baffled. It is like 80 minutes of pure nonsense. It's magnificent.
Really?
Oh, I also got it wrong. Chris does not hit Jason in the head with a machete. It's an axe.
Okay, when you said machete, I was wondering if it was an axe, but I was like, maybe it was a machete. I can't remember.
I forgot she gets the axe. I thought for some reason that she had his machete or stole it from him.
I hate that he takes his mask off just to show her his face for a second, and then he puts his mask back on.
Dude, he does like the boogity boogity boo.
Yeah, I hate that so much.
It's bad for the movie, but it's like goofy fun. Like there's nothing that fun in the first one.
I have to tell you the funniest part in the movie for me. I crack up every single time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Dude, it's in that scene in the barn scene when she just clocks him with the shovel, and it looks fucking painful. He like tenses up and just falls down. Cracks me up. It just cracks me up.
It was the early 80s. She probably just hit whoever was playing him. She probably just actually hit him.
He looked fucking like completely stunned. Like he was frozen in time.
Yeah. Well,
his shoulders go up to his ears. It looked so fucking painful.
That plays into a note that I had where I was like, okay, so this is still... I forget at which point these movies Jason becomes like subhuman. Like he's not human at all, whereas like in these first 3 movies, or I guess 2 because he's not in the first one, in 2 and 3 he's still very human. It's like those early Halloween movies too, where it's like Michael Myers isn't 7 foot tall and like built like a bodybuilder and fighting firemen in hand-to-hand combat. He's just like a normal guy. But yeah, no, either way, you get one pair of tits in this movie, and it's the pregnant girl. She has like one of the most fucked up deaths, and it's the only pair of boobs you see. So again, weird choice. I don't know. Maybe just have the non-pregnant woman show her breasts. That would be something. I don't know. Whatever. Either way. This one also has a storm. I like seeing storms in these movies. It's a nice touch, nice continuing thread. I hope everyone has a storm. I like when he throws the knife at Chris. I thought that was funny. She's trying to run away, and Jason just takes the knife and just like chucks it at her. Awesome. Fucking loved it. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm through all of my notes. Don't know. Oh, I did note that I like the effect overall. Again, it does look at parts a little dated, but I do wish that the Rick death of him getting his head squeezed, if they cut that shot a little sooner, just cut it a little quicker, like 1 or 2 frames earlier, that is a much more effective kill. I think they linger. That's one where, because them lingering on it a little too long, it loses its realism. Like, it looks more like an effect.
Mm-hmm.
So if they just cut that a little quicker, might have been better. But yeah, overall, I still had a lot of fun with this one. In terms of entertainment, more than the first. But you know, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm.
Anything else to say?
No, I think I'm. Yeah, I'm ready to score these because we got a lot.
The fact that we got 2.5 hours out of 3 Jason movies is fucking absurd. May have to trim this one. We'll see. But either way, yes, let's get into our ratings. And I would like to let the folks listening know that me and Josh thought it would be kind of fun to do 2 ratings for all of the Friday the 13th movies. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to give them each an actual rating, which is like how we criticize it or critique it as a movie, you know, cinematography, writing, editing, all of that stuff. And then also our score as a Friday the 13th movie. And I'm not going to, you know, take credit for this. One of my, you know, not anymore as much, but back in the day, I used to watch this YouTuber. His name is Ralph the Movie Maker, and he did a Friday the 13th video where he reviewed all of them, and he rated each one as a Friday the 13th movie. And so the way that we're going to do it is still out of 10, but the 3 kind of subcategories of that rating are nudity, kills, and overall entertainment, because that is what you go into Friday the 13th movies for: nudity, kills, and entertainment. So it's going to be out of 3 for the kills, out of 3 for the nudity, and then overall entertainment out of 4, which all adds up to an out of 10 score. So Josh, would you like me to kick off with the first film, or would you like to start?
You kick it off.
Okay. And we're not gonna go into specifics of like how we, I mean, we can if we have any big disagreements, and I'll be like, this is my reasoning for it. But in terms of like, I'm not going to be like, oh, this movie's like a 3 out of 3 nudity because of this scene, this scene, this scene, and this scene. It's just like, if you've seen the movies, you get it.
Yeah.
You get it. So for Friday the 13th, part 1, let me get this correct, pull up my notes, make sure I get it right. I'm going to give Friday the 13th, the first one from 1980, an actual score of 6 out of 10. A very generous 6 out of 10. Josh is rolling his eyes.
I thought I could convince him. I thought I could like whittle him down to like a 5 something.
We just disagree on the atmosphere and how much influence impacts the score. A very generous 6 out of 10. And again, this is leaning more into appreciation for what it did for the slasher subgenre, and less so, oh, I love this movie for all of these reasons. So 6 out of 10. You get a young Kevin Bacon, you get a good Betsy Palmer performance, some good kills, so 6 out of 10. As a Friday the 13th movie, though, it gets a 5 out of 10.
Can you quickly tell me what merits it got?
Actually, I'm going to lower that. I changed my mind after the discussion. It's getting a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
So, all right, fine. I'll run through it real quick. Fine. It's getting a 1 out of 3 for nudity. You only get 1 pair of boobs. 2 out of 3 for kills, because I feel like Kevin Bacon and the decapitation are great. And it was a 2 out of 4 for entertainment, but I lowered it to a 1 because it is kind of boring.
Okay. All right.
So 4 out of 10 as a Friday the 13th movie. So, Josh, take it away.
So, giving Friday the 13th as a movie a 4.2 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine.
Not awful. Not awful. It's just like it's in the below average, kind of bad still.
You're more upset about my score than I am your 4 out of 10.
Oh yeah, yours. Yeah, I don't like yours. I'm upset.
All right. So what does it get as a Friday the 13th?
I'm gonna go. Let me adjust this a little bit. It's the same score, but I kind of like whittled it. So it gets a 3.5 as a Friday the 13th movie. Half a point
I didn't realize we were doing decimals.
Oh, I'm doing decimals. It gets a half.
All right, guys, I'm not. So
half for nudity. Well, yeah, because we do decimals with the 10, so I just factored them in. Half a point for nudity. I mean, it is quick. You get plumber's crack. That kind of brought it down for me. Kills, I gave it a 2 because it does have the Kevin Bacon kill and has the decapitation kill. Even though I don't like that it seems to cut you short on the other ones, but I'm giving it a 2 out of 3. Entertainment gets a 1.
I like the throat slit. Yeah, fair enough.
And I like the axe to the face kill.
The axe is good too. Yeah, we didn't highlight that enough, but I like the axe to the head a lot.
So,
all right,
3.5.
You want to kick us off for part 2 then?
Yes.
All right.
Part 2 gets a 4.4 out of 10 from me. Slightly above the first one. I think there are things that are worse in it, but I do think there's a little bit more that I just appreciate more. Now, hold on. Let me just, as a Friday the 13th movie, let me see. You know what? I'm going to say an 8.5 out of 10 as a Friday the 13th movie.
Right.
It gets a 2.5 for nudity, 2.5 for kills, and 3.5 for entertainment. I almost gave it a 4 out of 4 for entertainment, but I was like, there might be others that I like a little bit more. So gave it a 3.5 out of 4 for entertainment. So 8.5 out of 10.
All right. Fair enough. I'm giving Friday the 13th Part 2 an actual score of 4 out of 10. Bad acting, bad directing, bad editing, bad music. Friday the 13th score, so how I'm scoring this as a Friday the 13th film. Entertainment, 3 out of 4. Nudity, 3 out of 3, baby. Terry all day. That's my girl. And kills, 2 out of 3. For an overall score of 8 out of 10.
All right. We're pretty close.
Yeah. Is that me for 3 then?
Yep.
Do I start that one? Shit, I didn't get. I forgot to rate this one. Ooh.
I can go if you want.
Yeah. Take it over. Because I forgot to give these actual ratings.
Part 3, I'm gonna land on I think a 3.8 out of 10. These are very, very just kind of a lot of them are just on the same level for me. Like
it's the same movie just over and over.
As a Friday the 13th movie, let me adjust that a little bit. Okay, as a Friday the 13th movie, it gets a 6 out of 10. 1 point for nudity. It's slightly better than the first one. But still kind of sparse. Kills, 2.5, same as the second one. I think they're pretty on par. And entertainment, 2.5. I wish it the first half is it does pick up in the second half a lot, but first half is just not as, there's kind of a divide there. So 6 out of 10 as a Friday the 13th movie.
Fair enough. And apologies for the listeners if you hear my upstairs neighbors. They're apparently fucking dragging around a chair or something.
I
fucking hate
I thought you were stopping at they're apparently fucking.
No. I'd rather hear fucking than them just rolling around a fucking chair. God, they are so fucking annoying. All right. I just need to get a house. I fucking hate neighbors. I hate people. So Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, but I saw it in 2D, unfortunately. Maybe I'll have to get that Blu-ray. I am giving it just a clean 4 out of 10. I have a very hard time distinguishing, in terms of quality. I don't know. What?
Wow.
What really?
Well, I saw 1.5 on Letterboxd. I thought it was going to be in the 3s.
No, the more I thought about it, I was like, there are some fun bits. Nah, you know what? Fuck it. No, I'm going down. 3.8 out of 10. Yeah, I'm gonna land with you on that one. The more I think about it, the Cheech and Chong ripoffs, they pissed me off. I hate Shelley. I fucking hate Shelley. Shelley alone. Actually, you know what? 3.5.
Wow.
3.5
Hey, all right, that's enough. Slow down.
No. 3.5 out of 10. I fucking hate Shelley. And if the movie had killed him on screen, then yeah, I would have maybe bumped it up. As a Friday the 13th movie, this is getting a 1 out of 3 on the nudity scale, a 2.5 out of 3 on the kills, and a 2 out of 4 on entertainment for an overall, wait, I can't math, 5.5 out of 10, I think that is.
Yeah.
Yes, 5.5 out of 10. It's a lot less entertaining than the second one. It's not that much worse as a movie than 2, but it's in terms of what I want out of these movies. 2 might be my new go-to for like if I just want to sit down and again.
Yeah, I'm excited to revisit them because I want to know like which ones I think I still know what I enjoy the most, but
as far as my preconceived biases, I do think in my head I like 4 and 6 over 2, but that could change.
Yeah, same.
That could change.
Those are my
watching
two.
these in
Those
quick
are my
succession. Two. Yeah, those are my favorites.
Just kind of spoiled the next episode, but whatever.
Do you know who directed 4?
Yes. I don't know I just know his name, but I don't remember what he did.
Yeah, it's Joseph Zito. So he also directed The Prowler, which is another really, really solid slasher from the 80s. So with some good kills. And I think Tom Savini might have done that movie too. I don't know. But yeah, so that is it for our ratings, guys, for this episode. No reason to talk about the next franchise as we are continuing the Friday the 13th franchise deep dive. On the next episode, we air every other Tuesday. So 2 weeks from now, you'll get the next part. We are going to be talking about Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. Spoiler alert, it's not the final one. Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. And Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. So very excited. We get the return of Tom Savini in the special effects department for Friday the 13th Part 4. We also kick off the Tommy Jarvis trilogy, if you will, with a very, very young Corey Feldman before he made the greatest album of all time, Angelic to the Core. But yes, so that'll be a lot of fun. I'm very excited to revisit those. I've rewatched 4 and 6 sometime in the last year and a half. They're my 2 most rewatched Friday movies, so excited to revisit them with a more critical eye and see how they stack up against these first 3. But yeah, so catch us on the next episode. But that really does it for me.
Yeah, so appreciate you guys listening. Hope you're enjoying the disgusting heat of August with these Friday the 13th movies. But give us a follow on Instagram at Franchise Deep Dive. Look for future activity. Interact with us, DM us, comment on whatever you want to see. And or you can email us at franchisedeepdive@gmail.com. But again, I hope you're having fun with this. I know we are. Surprised this went almost 3 hours, but
that's absurd. We are psychotic for that.
But yeah,
no, thank you guys. Like Josh said, follow us on all our social media. Let us know. You can comment on Spotify and obviously on YouTube. So I don't know if I said that, but we air our episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts under the name Franchise Deep Dive, and then on YouTube it's under my personal YouTube channel at Former Film Student, where I post other movie and TV related content. Haven't posted a lot of videos recently, but I don't know. I'm trying to do better. Trying to be better. But yeah, no. Also leave a comment on Spotify or YouTube, or if you want to comment on our Instagram picture for this episode, or email Josh, like he said, at franchisedeepdive@gmail.com. Let us know your kind of history with Friday the 13th. I know a lot of horror fans and a lot of people who aren't even super into horror have some sort of relationship with this movie or have some sort of story. So let us know your fun stories with the Friday the 13th franchise, your history with it. We'd love to hear all of that stuff. And if we get enough people kind of commenting on it or talking about it, maybe we'll talk about some of those. So yeah, let us know your experiences, and definitely catch us on the next episode of Franchise Deep Dive. Goodbye.